Yeah, only on ESPN.
Oh, it's good to be back, baby. What up? New to clock hour people. What up, lunch break crowd? I am back in the saddle again, back in my regularly scheduled time slot after 3 long days away from the nooner crowd. I am here ready to rock and roll. Hello, South Carolina. It is tremendous to be with you one more time again. I am Rob Brown, and this is the Rob Brown Show right here on ESPN Upstate. How do you do? Good to be with you. I'm a little excited, Lonzo. Can you tell? Can you tell by the fact that I'm pegging your red needles over there? How you doing, buddy?
You're not pegging my needles because I am a skilled producer.
An award-winning producer.
Also an executive producer.
That's the best kind of producer.
Yeah.
Did you get all the extra responsibilities?
Yeah. And all the extra pay that comes with it. Absolutely.
Good to be back, friends, family, amigos, amiguettes.
Let me just say that we all missed you while you were away, and it's good to have you back.
I will elect to believe that even if it's not true, because it makes me feel better about myself. Thank you. I got the opportunity to pop in very briefly yesterday afternoon, but wanted to say one more time, although it is a day late, happy birthday to you, old guy. One more circle around the sun. I believe you announced 50, right?
Yeah, it's 53.
42?
It's 53. I honestly pondered this today. At what age are you allowed to act like an old man get off my lawn guy? At what age? I mean,
well, I know it's before 36 because I do it a lot.
No, I'm talking about fully embrace it and going forward and never going back. At what point is it a gradual thing, and before you know it, you're there? Or do you just decide, you know what, I'm doing it? Why? Because I can get away with it now because of my age. What age in your mind, is there an age that you think, okay, when I get there, I could care less about anything. I'm just going to do and say whatever I want.
I mean, first off, you've been that guy since I met you. You're wearing a shirt with the great Gonzo on it. Lonzo does whatever Lonzo wants with no regard to the opinions of others. That's not true. He regards the opinions of others. He's just still going to do what he wants. That's what we respect. You also share a birthday with someone else in my very close circle. Saturday was my mom's birthday. So a happy birthday to my mother, who without her, and I say this with all sincerity in the world, ladies and gentlemen, I would not be here. Like literally, because she's my mom. I literally would not be here.
Happy birthday to your mom, and thank you for bringing the joy that is Rob Brown into all of our lives.
Record it, clip it. That's a bite now. No, and when I say would I be, I mean literally in South Carolina when the Jacksonville debacle went sideways. I was about 3 inches from having to take a job at a gas station just to be able to pay the bills because I had blown all of my mere savings in getting to Jacksonville. And then 6 months later, it went sideways on me. So happy birthday and the world's biggest thank you to my mom because I would not have been able to make it to Greenville. If she would have not been there for my assistance to help me out, to prop me up, and to get me in a spot where I even honestly had the stones to attempt for this job. I literally when I found out about the gig from Mark Ryan, there was a part of me that was just like, you know what, dude, just give up. Just give up. You've been everywhere. You've tried it. It's not working. Just give up. And she was like, hey, don't be a dummy. Make it happen. And I did, and I'm here. So happy birthday to my mom. And of course, thank you. And love you very much, Madre. So there you go. There's the fun niceties out of the way. Now We talk sports. We got a lot of stuff to get into. Big time breaking. Texture says Lonzo acts as if he hasn't embraced "get off my lawn" fully already.
Oh, I haven't. If I had, you would definitely know it.
Another texter says, Rob, we found out today Lonzo is going to need to watch The Hobbit when he wins El Chapo's house in the Mexican lottery.
Come on. Why wouldn't you let that go?
Because I don't know what it means.
Yeah, but I'm embarrassed that I guessed Alice in Wonderland instead of The Hobbit as something that was released on this day in 1937 or something like that. And The Hobbit was where I was going to go. And I thought, no, I'm being tricked, because the host would give me a hint that would be obvious if it were The Hobbit. And it was. And so I missed the question. You know what?
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, but that question right there, that's going to haunt me.
Just massive disrespect to Tolkien. Massive disrespect.
I deserve the nerd rage that I'm receiving, and I accept your chastisement.
And Alice in Wonderland is Carol, correct?
Lewis Carroll.
Yeah, there you go. Look at us. Not only do we know sports, but we know literature as well. We might as well have jackets with tweed patches on the elbows, you know?
Have you ever had a jacket with a tweed? Because I could.
Am I wearing it right now? Because if I did, I would be wearing it right now.
Okay, because I could picture you rocking that, but it would be on a smoking jacket, not on a normal jacket.
Absolutely. Grab me that and a pipe.
And a cummerbund.
And a good bottle of
scotch.
Not a
cummerbund, an ascot. You could have a cummerbund too, but that would be used. Never mind.
All right, busy. Texter immediately reminding me why I missed all of you so much. Says Rob Brown is thankful for his mother for giving him the stones he has. That explains a lot. It means courage. Texter, stop making it weird. Why do y'all have to make everything so weird? Why? Another texter says, ESPN Rob, glad to have you back. Thanks. Glad to be back. Busy day on the show today. A lot of breaking news out of the Clemson Tiger football program last night. We are going to talk about that. As a matter of fact, now in the lunch breakdown, I got some NFL news and notes that I want to get into later on in the show as well. We are going to be slammed up, ready to roll, absolutely busy as it gets. But I have to give you this story first. No, you know what? I'm saving it because it deserves a full segment. So I'm going to come back later with the greatest trunk full of contraband ever stopped by the police in a minute. Lonzo, if you don't laugh at this, I don't know if we're friends anymore. But before we get to any of that, let's do this.
Let's do lunch.
This is a very nutritious lunch. All the food groups are represented.
You guys are here. Scuttlebutt.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
It is the lunch breakdown right here on ESPN Upstate. The top 3 things you need to know coming out of the world of sports. When you gather around the lunch table with your friends and family and amigos and coworkers and whoever else, this shall be the scuttlebutt. These are the things you'll be talking about. We start with this. Grab me, if you don't mind, Zoe. And I forgot to pull up my roster, but it's the Pete Carroll clip. It's got his name on it. I want to say it's number 1. When you have NFL coaches, when you have NFL players, and you have NFL fans all on the same page with each other. It's clip 3, Lonzo. When you have players, when you have coaches, when you have fans, and they're all on the same page with each other. It doesn't happen very often. And it doesn't happen very often because ordinarily you have a lot of different interests that are all at play here. The fans want different things from the coaches, want different things from the players. But when all three of those voices are on the same page, you better listen. Roger, honk, honk, da, 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 da. You better listen. All right? Pete Carroll had this to say about an issue that really slammed full speed into the NFL over the weekend.
I really respect what they're trying to get done, and they would like the game to not have that in it. It's a hard transition. I mean, you saw what it took for us to get a penalty there. I think we've opened up a bit of a can of worms, and so we have to find our way through it here as we go. I don't know how other teams are doing with it, but it hasn't worked well for us so far. But it's clear what the rule is, and so we just have to react the right way. It's the reaction of the player in the moment that we have to train, and so you got a lot of guys that have to deal with those explosive moments, and they've got to really turn their focus away from the opponent, which it's a good thought. It's hard to manage it.
So, Petey says, "Hey, look, the taunting penalties are out of control. It's a good thought. It's not a good thought. It's not a good thought. All right. You know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of that. All right. We talked about this a little bit on Offsides yesterday when I was filling in for Mark Ryan and sitting alongside Diesel. I want Zoe's thoughts on it too. We had 6 taunting penalties in the NFL this weekend that changed the game. I would argue maybe one of them could I look at and go, yeah, that I could probably see that being justified in the old school. But of the 6, 5 of them were garbage and changed the complexion of the games they took place in. So you've got players that are speaking out against them. You've got coaches speaking out against them. You got fans who hate it. I didn't think a single person on Twitter going, as a fan, I'm really glad that these taunting penalties are in place. Because, I was really, really concerned about the feelings and emotions of my running back. I'm glad they called a 15-yard penalty. I bet he feels better about himself now. Self-confidence is important. #self-care.
Go back to the huddle. Go back to the sideline. Get out of people's faces after you did an amazing play. Act like you've been there before. You know you're not supposed to do it. I don't want to hear about emotions getting the best of you. You are a grown man. Go back, act like a professional. You know what's taunting and what's not. Stop doing it. It's just it's not that hard to not do it. Stop doing it.
Rob versus Lonzo on taunting calls. Okay, cool. Got a segment lined up for later. We'll come back to that later on in the show. I'm glad you went that direction. Item number 2 on the lunch breakdown. We're going to have this later on in the show. We're actually going to put up a poll on Facebook and Twitter about this. We are going to take your thoughts on the text line and on the air as well. The Greenville Triumph, our local soccer club, who, by the way, a 3-3 draw. 6 goals in the game on Sunday, Lonzo. That's the one I should have had you come to. 6 goals in the game on Sunday, 3-3 draw. Triumph fought back from 3 deficits. They were down 1-0, got it to 1-1. Down 2-1, got it to 2-2. Down 3-2, got it to 3-3. They needed a few more minutes. I think they might have got the 4th, but they ran out of time. But it was announced earlier in the year that the USL League One, USL, is they play in League One, which is a step down from the big UL, which is a step down from MLS, has started the USLW League. It is a professional women's soccer league that is a step below the women's big league, the NSWL or NWSL, excuse me. So the Greenville Triumph were awarded one of the charter teams of the USLW League. There will be a women's professional soccer team right here in the Ville. The Greenville Triumph, and actually spoke earlier today with our buddy Doug Irwin, who is the chief branding officer for the Triumph. And he was like, yeah, man, please do this on the show. Absolutely make this a thing. They are asking their fans for input in naming the new W League team. What should the name of that team be? We want your thoughts. They asked for the help. We are going to submit the Rob Brown Show's suggestion. We are going to take a poll on Twitter. We're going to take a poll on Facebook. We're going to take your thoughts on text, and we're going to take your thoughts on the air. What should the Greenville Triumph name their USLW League team, their women's team? I have got my decision already made, though I heard a really good argument for a name that I ordinarily don't like. And I will bring those to you later on in the show. But until we get there, the USLW League starts up year after next. Greenville Triumph, one of the charter teams in that league, and they are looking for a name for the Greenville USLW League team. What do you think that team name should be? We will take your thoughts. We'll get a Rob Brown Show answer together collectively as a group. This is a group project, and we will actually bring it directly to the Triumph, and it will be weighted in that discussion. That's what I love. That's what happens when you're an award winner, Lonzo. The professional teams in the area go, hey, Rob, we would like you and your listeners to have a direct line of input into the naming of a professional soccer club. That means when this club gets named, there's a chance, though, that the name they pick, we might have actually helped with that here on the air. It's what happens when you got Crystal.
It's an absolute honor for the program
100%.
And I'm talking about this program and for the station. And I believe that the next name of this team, or the new name of this team, or the first name of this team, rather, will come from this audience, the smartest audience in the entire world.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm keeping track. Send your suggestions on the text line to 71307, 71307. I'm going to give you my arguments later for what I think it should be. And I will see if you agree with me. However, if you guys as a listening base decide that you like another name better, it will be submitted as the Rob Brown Show Nation suggestion to the Triumph. So start sending those in now. And finally, item number 3 on the lunch breakdown today. Big news breaking last night for the Clemson Tiger football program about 2 very important players, mucho importante players to the team. Clemson defensive tackle Tyler Davis will need surgery to repair a torn bicep. He is expected to miss somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks, according to Dabo Sweeney, the number 58 recruit for the 2019 class, a key member of the team's defensive line. As a freshman, his sophomore season was disrupted by injuries, and he missed Clemson's opener this season due to COVID-19 protocols. For the season, Davis has had 7 tackles in 2 games and was expected to be a force on the defensive line. But that was not the only bad news that the Tigers got yesterday, as Dabo also announced that running back Lynn J. Dixon has entered the transfer portal. Lynn J. will likely be leaving the Clemson Tiger program, and I'll be honest with you, it wasn't that shocking to me. It wasn't that shocking to me. Lynn J. started the season in C.J. Spiller's doghouse. C.J. Spiller, of course, the running backs coach for the Tigers this year. He started the year in C.J. Spiller's doghouse, and really, it hadn't really looked like he's come out of it. We're going to talk about that when we come back in just a minute from right this very second. Those 2 breaking news stories and what impact they will have on the Clemson Tigers. As this story broke last night, we continue to see developments today. We will address that when we return here in just a moment from right now. My name is Rob Brown. The great one Lonzo is at the helm. You're listening to the award-winning Rob Brown Show right here on ESPN Upstate. Halloween is one of my favorite. Actually, it's probably top 3 holidays for me. I adore Halloween. I love Halloween, which is hilarious because I don't watch horror movies, but I love Halloween. There's just something about the creepy stuff. It's the psychological side of it that I like, not the jump scares, but the psychological stuff. That's what gets me, right? It's the stuff of nightmares that could be real. That's why I love Mad World. That's why I'm excited about Mad World. Mad World is open. And here's the thing. We got to take a tour of Mad World a few weeks back. They gave us a little sneak behind the scenes of what the 2021 version of Mad World is going to look like. And I got to tell you, I don't ordinarily do haunted houses because I hate jump scares. Lonzo knows that about me. Hate jump scares. Here's what I loved about Mad World. Here's where I will be going. Because one of the cool things that Mad World does is they don't just have a haunted house and every time you turn a corner, a clown jumps out at you. All right. They create a story. They create these characters that are based off of ghost stories and horror stories, and in some cases, real life horror stories. And they create these characters that taunt you psychologically while you go through the haunted house. They don't just jump out and scare you. They set you up to be scared later. And it is impressive. And these characters are brought to life by incredibly talented actors. They are brought to life by incredibly talented makeup artists. They are brought to life by incredible special effects and some of the most intense and real life scare scenes you have ever seen. This ain't your mama's haunted house. And Mad World is open right this very second. Go online to Mad World. Well, not this very second, not like in the day. It'd be kind of sad to go to a haunted house in the day, but it's open in general. And if you go to madworldattractions.com, madworldattractions.com, you can get your tickets now. Don't wait until Halloween weekend and go and get stuck in long lines, because this is the #1 haunt in South Carolina and people want to be there. Go to Mad World Attractions right now, madworldattractions.com. Get your tickets. Don't wait in line. It is the #1 haunt in South Carolina, one of the top haunts every single year, and you can check it out this Halloween. It is Mad World. Keegan says, your face looks like it's moving better. It doesn't look better. You're still ugly, but it moves better.
I gotta say, didn't really notice until now, but yeah, it does look like it's moving better.
Yeah, it feels better. It does. It feels more natural.
You're no longer Two-Face.
I know. I'm almost a little bit bummed out that
like
I didn't make it
3/4 or something. Yeah, because you could have pulled that off without having to, tape one side of your mouth down or something.
I initially thought they make I saw this online somewhere because I was going to, and I may still do it, because they make a prosthetic that you can put in, and it's like it goes on. It can go on the horn mouse or one side of your mouth, and you bite down on it, and it's got a little, like, it's not a hook, but like a little plastic curve to it, and it goes inside your lips, and it can hold your lips shut, so you can hold one side of your mouth shut. So I was gonna get that, do the left half full Two-Face makeup, get that. So literally, I would have talked out of one side of my mouth the whole time. I was going to go full especially if my eye would have stayed a little wonky. I would have absolutely gone with that. And I may still go with it. I really liked it, the idea of it.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it definitely looks better. And hopefully in another couple hours, it'll be fine.
Fingers crossed.
Oh, I swear it sounds like she says fresh crap eggs.
And then there's the best. You're listening to the best.
So we learned last night through Dabo's radio program. That defensive tackle, Clemson defensive tackle, Tyler Davis, is going to be out for the remainder of the year. That one is official. Davis was ESPN's number 58 recruit for the 2019 class, a key member of the team's defensive line in 2019 as a true freshman. Last season, had a handful of injuries that disrupted the season. He missed the opener this season against Georgia due to COVID-19 protocols, but through South Carolina State and Georgia Tech, Davis had 7 tackles, averaging 3.5 tackles per game. Trey Williams will likely get the bulk of Davis's snaps at defensive tackle. You know, and that's a big blow to have the guy that is your starter in that defensive line out, Lonzo, because really the front 7 of Clemson's defense have been the only thing that's carried that team. If it was not for a couple of big-time plays against Georgia Tech by the defense, by the guys up front, Georgia Tech wins that game, and Clemson's sitting at 1-2 to start this season. Losing your stud interior defensive lineman at this point where Clemson is, considering they need nothing short of a miracle to get into the playoffs at the end of the year, this is a lot of people I saw us know, we got depth at defensive tackle. Your starter's your starter for a reason, all right? Your starter's a starter for a reason, and considering, though, that the limited success that Clemson had against Georgia Tech in Georgia was all from the defensive front 7, this is a big blow.
Yeah, you know, those people that you're talking about who say, yeah, we have depth. You have depth on offense too, but the offense seems to be struggling. The depth has worked really well in the past, but this is one of those years where I'm not sure you can count on the depth stepping up to the level as the starter in front of them. And without their guys on defense, Clemson is in trouble. Hopefully they won't get any more injuries or anything like that, but this is definitely a big loss.
Yeah, look, go back to the Tech game, right? Let's go back to the Tech game. Let's go back 3 days. Georgia Tech, Lonzo, was inside the 7-yard line 3 times, did not walk away with a touchdown. All right? 3 times. The front 7 for Clemson saved that game. Georgia Tech scores 1 touchdown. The momentum of that game is completely different. The momentum of that game was completely different. If Tech, they had one inside the 10 in the first quarter of that game. If Georgia Tech scores on that drive, Lonzo, I don't know if Clemson's got it in them. They were having a hard enough time before that when they had the lead early. If Georgia Tech answers with a touchdown, we might be talking a different game. It was the front 7 that handed that win.
You know, the other thing, the ACC, the rest of the teams in the ACC, they have to be looking at this going, well, it's horrible that someone gets injured, but there's that fear that they used to have when playing Clemson. That's got to be gone now. It's got to be absolutely gone now. And maybe they're going to struggle with some more teams. Maybe some teams are going to believe in the ACC that they can beat this team now. And losing key players on your defense, that can't help. And giving confidence to the rest of that league, which shouldn't have that confidence, Clemson's in trouble. And we definitely couldn't have said that a few weeks ago. We thought that it was going to be business as usual this year, and it's not looking like it's going to be.
Oh, it's absolutely not. Not looking like it's going to be. It is currently not business as usual for Clemson. Then we also found out on the same radio broadcast that Lyn-J Dixon, the running back, is out. He hit in the transfer portal, which means, and by the way, for those of you unfamiliar with it, the transfer portal does not mean that you are leaving the school. You can retract your name from the transfer portal, but just like you have the option to put your name into the portal, once you put your name into the transfer portal, a school can pull the scholarship away from you, and I suspect that will happen with Lyn-J, although I don't know that for a fact because Lyn-J is slated to graduate in December, so my bet will be they'll let him just go ahead and finish the degree, but clearly, there were some behind-the-scenes issues with Lyn-J Dixon. When we came into this season, we thought that Lyn-J Dixon was going to be the heir apparent to Travis Etienne. We thought that Lyn-J Dixon was going to be the guy that stepped in and filled that vacuum at the running back position. And in game number 1, He wasn't there in the first half. We didn't know until afterward. Dabo came out and said it was an in-house issue. We found out a couple of weeks later that he and CJ Spiller butted heads a little bit during the offseason. So CJ decided to bench him to start that Georgia game. He ended up coming in. What do you have? Two carries in the second half of the Georgia game. Then against South Carolina State, which I got to tell you, I thought we were going to see Lynn J. Even knowing Will Shipley is good, right? We know Will Shipley is good. He's been the talk of the Campi there at Clemson. Knowing that Will Shipley is good, I still thought we were going to see a dozen carries out of Lynn J. Dixon, and we didn't. We just didn't. He just never really started rolling. He had a couple of carries here and there. For the most part, he wasn't used. And then last week, same situation against Tech. We saw him a couple of times, but he very clearly was number 2. And Kobe Pace has really maybe bumped him to number 3 on the depth chart. No surprise here to me that Lynn J. Dixon has decided to move on. There is talk that the guy could be a late round NFL draft pick, 6th, 7th round NFL draft pick. Well, here's the thing. You don't get drafted if you don't have tape, recent tape. You don't get drafted unless you have recent tape. And if Lynn J. knows he's going to get 2 or 3 carries a game on the Clemson offense, there's no reason for him to stay there. None. It benefits him 0 to stay there. And I know I can already hear the claims, the exclamations of some who are going to go, well, you signed an obligation. You signed a contract. A scholarship is a contract. And you signed a scholarship, a contract to finish up with the Clemson Tigers. Honor that. And I get that. I wonder how many of y'all would be so ethically consistent if that decision was on you with a 7-figure paycheck attached to it, right? Lonzo's loyal as hell at his radio station, has a commitment to it. But if somebody from Charleston called Lonzo and offered him $1 million a year to come there and produce radio shows, I'm going to say this lovingly. Lonzo can tell me he wouldn't take that contract. I don't believe him.
Well, it would take $1 million to get me to go to Charleston to do it. Some other places, maybe
Charlotte,
not so much.
Atlanta,
yeah, Charlotte, Atlanta. Yeah, I'm
Pickens.
gone. Then Pickens.
List the
You know what?
metropolitan areas.
Pickens, no way.
There ain't a city in America I won't move to for $1 million a year. All right. Juneau, Alaska, I'm on the way. Fargo, North Dakota, I'm on the way. There ain't a city in America I won't move to for $7 million a year because I'll work there for 7 years and retire forever.
I think the bigger concern for Clemson is they talk about family. And for a long time, they didn't have to worry about this. Now suddenly there are guys wanting out of the program. And that is unusual. And hopefully for their sake, it's not a trend. Because if it is, then things may be worse than just having a rough start to a season.
Listen, I'm not slamming the panic button on the whole family thing being dead yet, though. Look, we've seen kids leaving in bigger numbers than Clemson fans are used to. Sure, you ain't wrong. And considering Lynn J. was supposed to be a feature on this offense this year, and not only has he not been, but now he's out. I've seen the Twitter folks. Thought we were all family here, Clemson. Thought we were family. Look, I'm down to stir the pot a little bit, sure. But let's call it what it is. Lynn J. was going to get no benefit from staying on this football team. There's nothing good. There's nothing in it for him. What's he going to do? Get 3 carries a game for the rest of the season and then not get drafted because he's got no tape to send to NFL scouts? Again, it is real easy to look from the outside in. It is Jackson. It is real easy to look from the outside in and go, "Oh, you made a commitment, you signed a contract, you got to honor your word," and that's cool, man. I agree, but I wonder how many of you can honestly tell me, look me in the eyes, I guess, talk to me in my ears, and tell me that whatever your contract is with your employer right now, if somebody came and offered you 7 figures, but you had to leave today, you wouldn't get on the phone and go, "Boss man, I love you. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm out. I'm not coming into work tomorrow."
But see, you act like it's an easy decision. It wouldn't be. I mean, because there have been times that I thought, you know what, I'm done with this place. But I love this place, and that's why I'm still here, and they haven't gotten rid of me yet.
You can love the place and still go, I got to look out for number one. And $1 million paycheck takes care of number one for a very long time. All right. This is, I look at this like I do, and I guess this is the difference between me and a lot of other people when we talk about these kids, right? I look at a college football player, he's employed. We can call them student athletes and emphasize the student. We can call them amateurs, et cetera, but he's employed.
By the way, they're no longer amateurs thanks to NIL.
Sure.
No, they're employees, which is so, and they get paid twice.
Well,
which good for them, I guess. Whatever. Must be nice to get paid twice.
it is. I've done it. It's great. They're employees. And there is a shifting mentality. Some of you are not going to like this, but it's okay. It's okay. There's a shifting mentality in America. It used to be your job is your identity. Your job is your priority. You put pride into your work. You are your work, et cetera, et cetera. And now there is a shifting mindset in America of, hey, if my job's not taking care of me like I take care of it, then I am on the losing end of this relationship and there's no need for me to be there. Right? And that's where these guys are. You look at Lin Jay and you can go, well, you're getting school and you're getting books and all that. Well, that's great, man. But if you're a guy who's got a chance at the league, and Lin Jay thought coming into this year, he was going to be the feature back and have a chance at the league. If you got a chance at the league, if I can go get me $1 million a year, just a single $1 million a year contract in the NFL and make it for 1 year, I can go take a lot of classes on $1 million a year, y'all. I can come back and pay my own way down the line, right? For a guy like a Lin J. Dixon, for a guy that's got the potential to be drafted into the league, the services that Clemson provides as a university, as a place of learning and academics, it's not as valuable as it is to a kid who can't go pro. That walk-on freshman that got a scholarship, that is a life-changing opportunity for him to be able to go to school and get an education and a degree for free. But for a kid who's got a chance to make a league and make $1 million a year, college ain't a big deal. I can come back whenever using the funds I made in the league. And if you're Lin Jay, and it is very obvious that you are now the third back on the rotation here, you got no chance for film. You got no chance for the league. You got no chance for the league. There ain't no coming back to school later to get your degree. So why not downshift? Why not go somewhere else where I'm going to be the feature back, where I can put tape down to give myself a shot at the league and see what happens? Because I got news for you. Yes, Clemson can offer a scholarship and room and board and food, and that's all well and good. You know what other college can do that with a football program? All of them. Why is Clemson special? Why is Clemson so special that I should honor what I did there when I came here with the intention, with the understanding that I was going to be the feature back? No, I'm not. Why is Clemson so special that he shouldn't go somewhere else? Your love for your school does not have to be shared by everybody else. 844-GSP-ESPN. Got a couple of texts on this on the Ingles Market text line at 71307. We'll read and react to those when we come back. Rob Lonzo and you. This is ESPN Upstate. Jacksonville jokes in the thread. I'm here for it.
You're right, Tom.
I'm here for it.
Would you?
I'm here for it.
Go back to Jacksonville
For $1 million a year, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, for $1 million a year. Absolutely would for $1 million a year.
Hasn't spoken to the team since late August meeting when he communicated that message to Sixers officials. Simmons is aware the team could fine and suspend him, but so far appears willing to carry out a plan of forcing his way to a new organization. 76ers haven't yet found a trade they're willing to make for him. The Texans will start rookie quarterback Davis Mills Thursday night against the Panthers. It'll be the first NFL start for Mills. Starter Tyrod Taylor out with an injured hamstring. Texans could activate Jeff Driscoll from the practice squad to back up Mills Thursday. Deshaun Watson won't be active. Watson, who wants to trade, is facing 22 active civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault and inappropriate behavior.
Hey, man, look. Carolina looked real good. Here's what I'm going to say. I talked about this on the air a little bit, Steven, yesterday on Offsides. When you are missing 3 defensive starters, 2 in the backfield, 1 on the end, and 9 offensive coaches, it's tough to make adjustments when you don't have that many eyes, when you're missing 18 eyeballs on the field at any given point. I'm unsurprised. In fact, Lonzo, I considered calling into my own show on Friday with Dan to change my pick from New Orleans to Carolina, and then I forgot to do it. So I didn't change it on air. So I took an L, picking the Saints. But we made that pick on Wednesday in the news that the Saints will be missing 9 coaches and have an injury list that could beat some NFL teams. As soon as that news broke on Friday afternoon, I was like, that pick's wrong. That pick's wrong. And I would have gone back and picked it. If I'd have gone back and picked it, I'd have been 2 games over 500 instead of just 1. But yeah, I mean, you cannot win in that situation if you're the Saints. You can't do it. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Of course, those weren't excuses. That was just an explanation as to why they lost.
I saw that article that you just. That's a reason. That's a reason. Oh man, you were just giving me material.
This is what I do. I mean, it's yeah.
And before we get there, let me be abundantly clear in saying Carolina Panthers played their asses off on Sunday. I mean, they played their asses off on Sunday. They were good. Even if the Saints were at full strength, I still don't know that they win that game, okay? I still don't know that they win that game, but Carolina played a great football game on Sunday.
Well, hopefully the next time they play each other, which we know will happen again, they'll both be at full strength, and we'll find out. Steven wants to know how many interceptions the coaches threw.
Okay.
It was supposed to have that fixed. Remember, that's what they said.
Again, when you're missing 9 offensive coaches that can impact the game, you're going to be in bad spots. Steven and Lonzo are mega power tag teaming up on me during the break. Lonzo has created 3 segments that I have to get to now that were not on my show rundown, and they're on the notepad now that I have to now circle back to and bump other segments I wanted to do because Lonzo's are more important.
Obviously, right? Rob missed me.
I did. Doesn't mean I'm not coming in with smoke, though.
Because I'm not implying that other people are, but I am not a yes man. So,
all right. Steven in the chat and Lonzo tag team. I got that written down. That's going to be coming up in the next segment. You'll find out what we're talking about. Of course, if you're watching the stream at facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, twitter.com/ESPN Upstate, or search The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. You can watch the show live, and we have conversations off the air during the breaks, some of them sports related, some of them completely unsports related. You can be a participant in the conversation if you join the chat by going to facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, twitter.com/ESPN Upstate, or by searching it on YouTube, The Rob Brown Show. You can chat with us during the breaks. And we actually interact with listeners while we are off the air as well as on it. It is 3 hours of content.
You could have seen Rob just almost break his hand after making a shot.
I rolled it up.
On the microphone. You hit the microphone when you came back.
Yeah, but do you see the angle that I'm working with over here?
That's fine, but
on the stream you would.
Yeah, you would. And Does that make the shot more successful if you take an injury from? Okay, all right.
Yes.
It was a good shot, though.
It was a great shot. I agree. It was a great shot.
We need trash can cam. We've got to do that.
We throw enough stuff into it during the show.
We do. And none of it is.
We just call it trash cam, right?
Yeah, we can do that.
Trash cam.
And yeah,
We may have a new edition coming to the stream very soon.
we'll have to work on that.
Trash cam.
Let's talk to engineering.
It's where our trick shots and most of my takes end up in the can. All right. Texas says ESPN. Lynn J has to look out for himself. Clemson isn't genuinely concerned with his football years after college. Correct. Now, here's what I'll say, and I've given Clemson a lot of credit for this in the past. It impresses the hell out of me how many guys leave Clemson, go on to the league, and continue to come back and be a part of the program. CJ Spiller had a great NFL career. He's coaching there now. Before the issues this offseason, it was not uncommon to see Deshaun popping up and walking around. We have seen DeAndre Hopkins wearing the tiger paw on the NFL field. Okay? It is impressive how many former players go out of their way to maintain the relationship with Clemson. And I respect that. I appreciate that. Not many schools have that type of connection with former players that goes so far out of their way to maintain the relationship, to be a part of the school. But at the same time, I have to be pragmatic when I approach this. We have to be openly and intellectually honest about this. If Lynn J. Dixon cannot and will not contribute to the Clemson football program, he is not of any value to them, okay? And they're not going to go, we're going to give you 8 or 9 carries a game because we want you to be successful moving to the league. No. If they have, whether it's because of his own attitude issues or not, which it looks like it is, even if it is because of his own attitude issues, if he's going to get 2 or 3 totes a game, that's not good enough to make it to the league. He's going to go somewhere that will. And Clemson isn't really concerned about whether or not he makes it to the league. Yes, they go out of their way, as most colleges do, to get their best players prepared, to give them the best chance that they can have to make it to the next level. I've seen it. But at the end of the day, the second string left guard going to the league is not a priority for the Clemson Tigers. The third string running back, which now Lynn J. is, again, let's, for the sake of discussion, say it's entirely his fault. He's the third string back because he had an attitude problem. Cool. Clemson still isn't going to help him get to the league. And again, I know it's easy to look on the outside in, but I want you to put yourself in his cleats for a second. It is easy to look on the outside in and go, well, it's your fault you're the third string running back. Sure, let's say it is. But at the end of the day, him being the third string running back hampers his ability to make it to the next level if he was going to be able to at all. Okay? Let's just call it what it is, even if it's entirely his fault. Clemson doesn't care if he makes it, so him going somewhere that will give him the opportunity by making him the workhorse back, even if it's a Rice, a Baylor, a USF.
Back in your days when you were playing, did you ever get knocked back a couple strings for something you did or something you said?
Not that I'm aware of, but I was kind of a goody two-shoes up through high school. So
okay, well, I mean, it could have just been the people ahead of you being more talented.
And they were,
yeah,
and they were,
because I'm curious if that would have happened if you would have thought and you would have had the ability to go somewhere else. Would you have?
If I was going to get playing time, absolutely. And in fact, there was a big discussion about this down in my home county of Colusa County, because there was a school down there, Niceville High School, which was our rival. I went to Choctawhatchee High School. We had Niceville High School, and they got a coach who was known for having a pretty decent number of guys go D1 off of his roster every year. And he took over at Niceville. And Niceville, which had always kind of been the second or third best team in the county at best out of 4, all of a sudden, Lonzo, kids were leaving as sophomores from Choctaw and Fort Walton and Crestview, the other 3 schools in the county. They were leaving as sophomores and transferring to Niceville to play football. Why? Because that coach had a pipeline to college football programs. Because that coach in that school offered them an opportunity to have eyes put on them to be placed in front of schools. And I'm not talking D1 explicitly. This guy would send players to JUCO schools. Well, scholarship's a scholarship, son. So we had high school kids leaving the other 3 high schools, all going to Niceville. Niceville ended up becoming a monster. And people were going, oh, they shouldn't be allowed to transfer. Why not? Why not? Why are they obligated? Talk more about it as we roll on. Rob Lonzo, it's ESPN Upstate. Of the BetQL guy, Joe Giglio. He's at 130.
Okay.
I have to remind myself that not everybody who works in the building is a jock with a sense of humor. I was in the restroom and somebody was in one of the stalls having a one-man wrestling match of some type. And as I was walking out, I went, "Hope your day gets better," which I thought was a very funny joke. I told that story and I had us muted on the stream.
Oh, that sucks.
All right, stream people, because I messed up and didn't have the audio on.
Way to say messed up, by the way, because
Absolutely messed up.
there was hesitation there. Like,
In Auckland, New Zealand, which is under what they're calling Auckland Alert Level 4 lockdown measures, which are the strictest in the country, restaurants, including takeout services, remain closed. So everyone must stay home and only essential services are open. The rest of New Zealand is at level 2, with restaurants, cafes, bars, and nightclubs open and residents permitted to leave their homes. Well, police were patrolling back roads near the outskirts of Auckland when they noticed a suspicious-looking vehicle, according to New Zealand police spokesperson. Upon seeing the officers, the vehicle did a U-turn and sped off before eventually pulling over, the statement said. When the car was searched, police found a large quantity of $70,000 cash, empty ounce bags, and multiple buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Police photos showed at least 3 buckets of chicken, though there were more reported, about 10 cups of coleslaw, a large package of fries, and 4 large bags containing other KFC items. The 2 men, ages 23 and 20, were traveling to Auckland from Hamilton, about 75 miles south of the city, with chicken. Wow.
I noticed you didn't mention gravy. It could have been part of the other things, but, And how do you? So were they taking orders online, or were they just going to? I got some KFC. It's entrepreneurship, is what it is.
This is literally a South Park episode. There was a South Park episode where KFC got shut down. And
Don't you be hating?
So coleslaw is gross. Coleslaw is disgusting.
Have you tried it lately?
It's awful. I've had every kind of
No. Since the thing, maybe you now love coleslaw.
Well, no, my taste is back to normal.
Oh, too
my
bad.
Taste is back to
I was
normal.
hoping you'd love coleslaw.
My taste is back. Well, that would be torture. But there was an episode where KFC got closed and Cartman started drug dealing KFC along with the Colonel, who was playing the role of Scarface. It was hilarious.
It would be great if that's why they did it.
Right?
Golf cart in the first break.
Rob, I pictured that car in New Zealand blasting bluegrass banjo instead of ice cream truck music.
Well, you got to let them know what you're serving. So, yeah, that would go along with what you got in the back.
I didn't get to read all the way through the article because I shorted us for time going out. But part of that story was the fact that there were something to the tune of like 7 buckets of coleslaw to go along with the chicken. I have 2 things that I have to say here, and then I'm going to dive right back into the sprots. Number 1, coleslaw is gross. All right? Coleslaw, and I know taste is subjective, and everybody has their own, and I'm not judging you if you like coleslaw. Have at it. More for you. Coleslaw, gross. I've never found it. Coleslaw and coffee. All right. You don't drink coffee, do you?
No, coffee's gross. But
Okay.
I disagree with you on coleslaw. It's not like I gotta have me some coleslaw, but I don't mind having coleslaw here and there. It doesn't gross me out like it does you. But coffee absolutely does.
So like you're not
Especially
going,
coffee breath. If you got coffee breath.
So you're not going out of your way for coleslaw, but
No,
like you're
no.
gonna eat it if somebody brings it to the barbecue, you're gonna eat it.
Yeah, I am not a champion for coleslaw, but I don't hate it.
Coleslaw's gross. All right. It's just gross. I've tried it. And don't hit me with my granny makes the best coleslaw. You would love my granny's coleslaw. No, I wouldn't. Your granny's coleslaw is gross too. All right. Your grandma's coleslaw. My grandma's coleslaw is gross.
Around here, they're called meemaws. So you're talking about their meemaws.
Grannies, mama, whatever you call her, her coleslaw is gross too. All right. I'm sorry to be the bad guy. But coleslaw is gross, and I don't care how much time Meemaw puts into it. It's still gross. All right? My grandma's coleslaw is gross. I'm not taking down your granny. I'm taking mine down too. Coleslaw is gross. Second off, I love that this is a literal South Park episode, right? Like I was thinking about it when I read the story earlier, and I was like, dude, this sounds like a South Park episode. KFC gets shut down. Cartman's really mad about it. So he starts hawking Kentucky Fried Chicken like it's cocaine. Except for that's actually a South Park episode. That is actually an episode they did years ago. Colonel Sanders, KFC, got shut down in South Park in favor of, what was it? Something else. They shut down the KFCs. Cartman goes into an arrangement to be a local dealer for Colonel Sanders, who in the episode was playing the role of Tony Montana. And then Cartman starts getting high on his own supply of KFC as he's hawking it around South Park. It is literally a South Park episode come to real life. It's incredible.
So I'm picturing Australian gang members sitting around.
New Zealand.
Mate, let's sell some KFC.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah.
They are literally gang members who are rolling deep, selling KFC out of the trunk of their car.
I mean, how bad are Australian? You said New Zealand, Australia. How bad are gang members there? Aren't you shocked also by the fact that there are gang members in Australia?
But in fairness,
yeah, because
Australia literally was a penal colony for the British.
I know that.
They literally everyone terrible here. You go to the kangaroos.
I understand that. That was a long time ago. So I don't believe that their descendants are also criminals. They could be.
Texter says regarding coleslaw, more divisive food banter. I don't know what to tell you. Coleslaw is gross. All right, it just is. Another texter says,
"Hey, what if coleslaw is made with Duke's mayonnaise?"
Still gross, and I like Duke's mayo.
Well, see how consistent you are.
Y'all have converted me to Duke's. All right, Duke's is in the fridge at the house right now. Y'all have converted me to Duke's. You did it. You won me over. When I got here, I said, mayo is mayo. Y'all tripping. Relax. Mayo's mayo. But y'all have converted me over to Duke's mayo. You and my sister-in-law.
You're a conformist.
No, I'm not. Y'all, when I got up here and I got hit by the Duke's train, because y'all are passionate about some mayonnaise in the upstate.
By the way, I don't even know if coleslaw is made with mayonnaise. I don't. There's something white in it. I just assumed it was mayonnaise.
I think it is. I think it is. Y'all hit me with the Duke's mayo train, and then I went home one trip shortly after I moved here, and my sister-in-law went to their house, and we were having po' boys. We were having shrimp po' boys. She breaks out the mayo. You put a little slatter of mayo on the bread, on the French bread to make a po' boy. And she breaks out the Dukes. And I'm like, oh, man, this is a hit. In fact, I think I tweeted a picture out on the ESPN account years ago. It's almost been 2 years, actually.
Yeah, I guess you could
almost
say
been
years
2
ago.
years. Anyway, I tweeted a picture of it, and I was like, y'all, my sister-in-law's already using the Dukes. And everybody was like, yeah, well, duh. Y'all won me over. Ingredients for coleslaw. Half a cup of mayo, 2 tablespoons white sugar, 1.5 tables lemon juice, 1 table vinegar, 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon salt. None of those things should be mixed together, okay?
The black pepper, that means it's a little bit of a spicier slaw. I don't think you always put black pepper
because
in
that's
it.
what I think of when I think coleslaw is spice. Texture says,
yeah, but just to bring this full circle, would you put it on a hot dog?
which, by the way, I have a definitive answer to the old question, is a hot dog a sandwich? I might give that to you later. Texter says, ESPN, y'all are tripping, man. Coleslaw is a great side, and I would die without coffee. All right, coffee thing. I'm not judging you on coffee. I
am, man. Coffee's nasty. it's an addictive thing, and people can't, and it's also an excuse for you to be a jerk in the morning. Well, I haven't had my coffee. No.
I will say that I think a lot of people use coffee as like a personality crutch, right? Like they blame being a jerk on not having their coffee yet. And then there are people like there are Instagram models that their whole thing is coffee. Like that's their thing. That's all they do. That is their personality is coffee. It's a little overblown. I'm not saying don't drink coffee. Have at it. I've never found a coffee I've liked. Hot, cold, ice, brown, dark, sugar, cream. Never found a coffee I like. I don't judge people who drink coffee. But if your whole personality is just, I like coffee, that's not a personality. That's like people who you go on their Facebook profile and they're like, you can usually find me watching The Office. Great. It's a good show. It's not a personality. Try something.
I'm excited about something. Finally, they've given me my email back. It's now lonzo@espnupstate.com
There you go.
and lonzo@1063wrd.com.
Email Lonzo.
They'll take it again.
Email Lonzo.
They'll take it. I've had that before.
Email Lonzo pictures of your coffee.
No,
Lonzo at ESPNupstate.com.
no, don't do that.
Send Lonzo all the pictures of your cup of coffee.
If
Send
you,
him your Instagram coffee photos.
and send Rob Brown actual coleslaw.
Texas says ESPN, not all slaw has mayo. And you know what all slaw is, though? Gross. Texas says, I have to be addicted to something. It's either coffee or black tar heroin. You decide. Coffee. Do the coffee. Do the coffee.
Does black tar heroin make you grumpy in the morning? I don't know. I'm
Because
just
if
curious.
it does. So, wanted to put this out there. I told you we were going to do this back in the first hour. We got some suggestions already. It was announced earlier in the year that the USL, United Soccer League, is starting up a women's league. It's going to be USL League W or W League. So it's a professional women's soccer league. Just like the USL is a step below MLS, this will be a step below UWSL or NWSL, sorry. One step below. And Greenville has been announced as one of the charter teams in the USL W League. So we will have a professional women's soccer team right here in the upstate. It will play alongside the Greenville Triumph, your reigning, defending, undisputed USL League One champion, Greenville Triumph. The Triumph earlier today put out on their social media a call for suggestions as to what they should name this team. What they should name the team. What banner should the team play under? And they are asking for suggestions for or from Greenville and upstate residents as the upstate's professional soccer team. There have already been a lot of names that have come in so far as suggestions, and there are a lot of them so far. The Greenville Pride, the Greenville Force, the Greenville Elite, the Greenville Revolution, the Greenville Liberty, the Greenville Precision. A lot of names have come in. I have an argument, and the reason I'm asking you guys for your help on this is because before the show started, I talked to our buddy Doug Irwin, who is the chief branding officer, the CBO for the Triumph. Called him. I said, "Hey man, I want to ask my listening audience this. I want to get some answers from them. Do you guys mind if I do that? Can I solicit answers on the show and bring them back to you?" And Doug said, "Absolutely. We would love that. We've built a really good relationship with the Triumph here on the show, here on the station. Every Wednesday at 1:20, we do a weekly Triumph segment where we have players and coaches and front office folks on to talk about them. We update you on games and preview games every week. We have a great relationship with the Triumph, the Swamp Rabbits, the Drive. We're very proud of that." So I said, "Doug, can we bring this up on the show? Can we make a deal of it?" And he goes, "Yes, and let me know what the decision is. Let me know what the Rob Brown Show audience would like as the name. We will weigh that into consideration." So we, here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate, we have input. We have voice. You guys, because you guys have made this show what it is and helped grow the show into what it is, and because you have helped grow the relationship between us and the Triumph, we, as the show, are getting heavy consideration as to what the name of the USLW League team here in Greenville should be. I, Lonzo, told Doug that if it's up to me, I want them to be called the Greenville Triumph. I want them to play under the same banner for a few reasons. Number one, and I've made this argument for years on my show, as a soccer fan who wants to grow the sport here in the upstate, here in South Carolina and across the United States. One of the arguments that I've made for many, many moons is that we do not have to Europeanize soccer in this country. We can Americanize soccer to make it more appealing to us. We don't have to copycat everything that they do in Europe or South America or Asia. We don't have to copycat the way the rest of the world plays soccer. In fact, I would go so far as to argue that if...
So you're saying no SC?
Correct. No SC, no FC, no Union, no City, no United. Okay? Not Greenville United, not Greenville SC or FC, not Greenville City. And here's why. People are more willing to sign up for, to jump in on, to be a part of things that they are familiar with, right? You are going to be more comfortable with things you're familiar with. If something is foreign to you, I don't mean foreign like European. I mean foreign like just not within your universe of life experience, it can be scary to get involved. Trust me, I know. It was a long conversion process for me to become a soccer fan. When I got to college, I was not a big soccer fan. I played goalie in high school, but I really only played because I enjoyed playing it. I was never like a fan of the game. I just liked playing things. And that was something that I had the opportunity to do and play and get some PT. When I got to college, in my fraternity, shout out Tau Kappa Epsilon, TKE, if you can't go Greek, go Teak. I had a bunch of Europeans and a bunch of South Americans in my fraternity who were all big soccer fans, and they converted me, but it took a while. It took a while to become a professional soccer fan. Part of the reason why was because it just felt foreign to me. Well, if you Americanize a sport, here's what I mean by that. When we talk about soccer, call it soccer. Don't call it football. I call it football every now and then because it's just a habit. And because when people call and they go, I hate soccer, it's for sissies with long hair. Those people get triggered when I call it football. So I do it to troll them. Okay, that's why I call it football. To troll people. I enjoy doing that. Judge me. But when you're talking to somebody who has grown up around American football and you call the football field a pitch, they're turned off by it. It's not a pitch. A pitch is what a baseball player does. It's a field. We play on fields here in the States. When you call cleats boots, it's off-putting to Americans. Even though they're boots everywhere else, they are cleats in America. They are soccer cleats.
Wait. They call cleats boots?
In Europe, they're boots.
But they don't look like boots.
They don't look like American versions of boots, but in Europe, they've been boots forever. They've always been boots in Europe.
Okay.
But this is what I'm saying, right? This is what I'm saying. If I'm talking soccer to Lonzo and I go, last week, Tyler went out there and laced up the boots. Lonzo, because he's Lonzo, is going to think I'm talking about a wrestler. But most of us are going to think work boots, right? Brown leather boots, hiking boots, work boots. Those are boots. These are cleats. So call them cleats. It's okay. Don't call it a pitch. Call it a field. Don't call it a kit. It's a uniform. In England, it's a kit. In Europe, it's a kit. In America, it's a uniform. And every sports team wears a uniform. Why? Because it's one form and it's una. Between everybody who wears it, it's uniform. So call it that. So when you name a team Greenville FC, when Charlotte named their team, when Charlotte got their Charlotte, when Charlotte City got awarded,
yawn.
I hate the name Charlotte FC. I hate the name. I'm going to support the club because it's an MLS team that's an hour and 30 minutes away, and I'm going to get to go up there and watch MLS action, and I'm in for that.
Colors are nice too.
Colors are great. I love that they matched it to the uniform of the Panthers. I love that they bought in. I love that they went Queen City. I love that they went the Mint theme for all their stuff. They bought into Charlotte. Right colors, right logos, right slogans. But then they called it Charlotte FC. And I thought it's a bad name. Chicago Fire, good name. Columbus Crew, Good name. These are good names. They're Americanized names. We have a team name and then a mascot that we all rally behind, and that's good. So I think the name Triumph is great, right? Even though it's not like a thing, like a tangible object, the concept of what it means to triumph is something we can rally behind, right? That's a great name because it's a thing that we can rally behind. Even though it's a concept, an idea, and it's not like a bird or a cat. The concept of the triumph. We are the victor. We are the victory. That's a great name.
And they absolutely were last year.
Absolutely. It's a great name, and we can rally behind that. So let the women play under the same banner. It does a couple of things. Number one, putting United behind your team doesn't make me go, oh, well, they're United. Manchester United is not United. There's literally another team next door called Manchester City. So you're not United. It's two teams in one city. Greenville United doesn't fly to me. But to unite them, let them play under the same banner. Let them play under the same name. Second thing it does is it elevates the women's team to the same stature. They're playing under the same banner with the same name, the same look, the same design. It makes the women on equal footing with the men's team, which is what we want. Send your suggestions in. I got a handful of names already on the text line. Keegan, P1, checking in on the broadcast to give us his thoughts. Keegan, welcome in, big dog.
Hey. Now, I'm going to go ahead with my suggestion, even though you just ripped it to shreds on the air. I'm okay with that. I feel like we would be doing ourselves a favor if we even change the name to Greenville Triumph United, because I think it's absolutely the answer is in the name. Because as someone who's not from Greenville originally, I never feel more at home than when I'm at a Greenville Triumph game. Rob, you're there, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
When we're in the supporters section at the Reedy River Riot, the Greenville Triumph game, you have people from all races, all walks of life, all backgrounds. Not just that, you have people from all over the country, all over the world, different soccer team fans, different sporting fans, and pulled together at the Greenville Triumph, we all pull for one team, one vision, one goal, and that's to see the Triumph succeed. So I don't know why we couldn't just add the word United to the end and be the Greenville Triumph United for the men, for the women, and just unite the two teams, the fan bases, because Greenville is a city of transplants. Greenville is a city for locals, visitors, people that are from here, people that are not from here. This is the upstate. It's not just one city. It is not just a zip code. Greenville is becoming more and more a destination, a place to be, and a place to call home. For so many people, I feel like the answer is in the name. We are the Greenville Triumph United.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you make a damn argument. That's how you make an argument. Keegan, my man, good call.
And he finished it as he should.
Oh, with a pitch.
Yeah, he did.
With a line. That's a good call. I'll let you know. I'm not saying that it sways me, but it sways me a little bit. I'm not saying it's convinced me, but I'm down to hear the argument. I like that. It's a good call. All right, we'll pick this up for 1 or 2 more minutes when we come back. Read a couple of texts. Send your text in. Ingles Market text line 71307. 71307. Start your text with ESPN so we can read them on the air. Greenville Triumph asking what they should name their USL W League team. What do you think it should be? We're going to submit the Rob Brown Show Nation answer to the Triumph to be considered. We'll finish this conversation up next, right here on ESPN Upstate.
Golf cart.
golf card.
Okay, I didn't see this earlier, so I need to ask you this before we go. Well, we're already on. It doesn't.
Likely to play against the Texans as well. As far as how things look from a Houston perspective, looks like Davis Mills is going to start at quarterback. They are going to keep Deshaun Watson inactive. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. It's why the Score app is one of North America's.
Ooh, I just thought about something now.
What's that? 2 for 2.
You won't be here
When?
because it would be next week.
Oh, you still do it. Even if I can, you get Ron Simmons, you still.
Yeah, but it won't work with.
Or
it won't work with
or
Dan. So
you schedule him. Damn it! Trying to think if there's a way. If we schedule early enough, I wonder if there's a way I could like be in my hotel room and we could record a Zoom interview. Or I could. Well, no, I won't have the conference with me.
well, we could record StreamYard.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If we can schedule it where I know before we go up there, and I can't promise like depending on the availability, but if it can be at a point where I can be in my hotel room with a computer with a laptop, and if not, you should still record an interview with him for later. Don't do it on air with Dan, but just record it on air, and we'll play it back later. Even if you roll solo with it, we'll still absolutely play that.
Hey, you've heard football legend Emmitt Smith talk about QC. It's time to see what this is all about. Fall is the time to enjoy life to the fullest. Act now. Restorative, regenerative therapies are available here, and the in-office consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics at 864-448-7772. Non-surgical joint pain.
When are you leaving?
Saturday. This Saturday.
Okay. Because I'm getting the one guy Saturday, so there's a chance I might be able to get them all on Saturday.
Just like with Ron specifically, the ones I'm concerned about. If you can set it up with him, do it on his availability. If it's at a point that I can run back to the hotel room and StreamYard in with you guys, I'll absolutely do that. And if I can't, then I would tell you just record the interview, and then we'll run it back on the show when I get back.
See, the bad part about that, though, is they're going to want to promote the con, and it will be after you come back.
That's true, too. So record it.
Here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to record it for the Pulse and do it in a way where we can take part of the interview and play it.
Yeah. Say do that, or
We'll do something.
Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate. Rob Alonso and you, 844-GSP, ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us. The Ingles Market text line at 71307. Welcome to the show now. A friend up until last week, and then 8 weeks of adversary, and then we'll go back to being friends. From Classic Rock 101.1, the Stone Man sitting in. What up, fella?
We were friends to begin with?
Loose acquaintances.
That's pretty strong.
Yet here he sits. And I want to note, Lonzo, he didn't go to the microphone all the way across the table. He sat at the one right next to me.
Well, there are protocols that are being.
Oh, that's true.
It's just no. That's just I can't believe.
So
okay, well, whatever.
Clean.
So you're clean.
I'm clean. I'm glad you came in. Perfect timing. I want to ask you questions. So we're both soccer guys. I got the scarf code. By the way, you got any extra soccer scarves? Bring them to me because I'm building the wall across the whole front of my office. I got Man U.
I got a Carolina. You got a Carolina one?
I don't think they sent me one.
I got one.
I need it. I got Man U. I've got Orlando City. I've got Greenville Triumph, and I've got my old Pensacola club. Anyway, Greenville Triumph announced earlier in the year that they are getting a USLW league, which is second tier women's professional league. And they put out on their social media today that they're asking for Greenville and Spartanburg in the upstate to help name the team, right? So they said, submit your name suggestions. I talked to Doug and the guys over there earlier today saying, can we bring this up on the show? And they said, not only yes, but y'all come up with what the Rob Brown Show vote for a team name should be, and then give it to us, and we'll put that into the decision-making process because we've won an award, Stone Man. So
you have
one. I'm gonna catch you. It's gonna take a little while, but I'm gonna catch you. So
you win one. I won 4 this year.
I didn't say I was gonna catch you soon. I just said I was gonna catch you.
Yeah, I think I'm in the teens now, maybe, or pretty close.
All right, guys. Yeah. Rob sucks. We get it.
No.
So
you've only just begun.
Somebody should write a song like that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So
no, come on. It's not. We've only just begun. That's not Barry Manilow.
I don't remember. That's more my mom's music that
well,
you guys are into.
I'm just thinking of Chubbs playing it on the piano from the heaven scene from Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore, actually.
Yeah.
I respect it, though. I respect it. All right, so we've got these names that the Rob Brown Show Nation has suggested so far.
Right.
The Greenville Conquest, the Smoke, the Elite, the Revolution, the Cougars, the White Claws, the Relentless, the Liberty, and the Force. And there's some that are tied, like Liberty, I like. It's tied to the Liberty Bridge downtown. My argument was follow the Triumph. Let them play under the same banner, right? You keep the same image, the same logo, the same uniform, the same name, and you raise the women's team to be on par with and share the brand and share the fan group, the supporters group with the men. So when you go out and you see Greenville Triumph, you're not just talking about the men's team and then over there is the Liberty, the women's team. Greenville Triumph, it's 2 teams playing under one banner. My other argument was, and I think you and I have had this discussion off the air, that by keeping it as a name, as opposed to, as some people suggested, Greenville FC or Greenville United or Greenville, Real Greenville or whatever.
That's been done.
Absolutely, which is why I'm really excited to have an MLS team up north. I was honestly a little disappointed with Charlotte FC. Like, I wish you would have had a name, right?
Yeah.
So as a Brit, as somebody who grew up in the EPL and Champions League, where you have all these professional teams, where the Europeanized version of team names is Manchester United and City and Real Madrid and Barcelona FC, I like the idea of calling them the Triumph. But as somebody with a soccer background in both across the pond and in the United States, what would your suggestion be? Should they go with like a traditional mascot, like the Panthers? Should they go with like the Triumph is an intangible concept, right? But it's still a thing. We understand what a triumph is and what it means to triumph. So it's something we can rally behind. Do they go in that direction? Or should we go with like a Greenville United? Because we do technically have 2 teams playing together, one facility, one ownership group, one management group, one fan base. They would be united one of the few times it would fit. Or do we kind of like have an amalgamation of that? As a Brit with background in soccer in both parts of the world, what would Stone Man's suggestion be to the Greenville Triumph about what to name this team?
Well, and that's where I would have an issue, because well, it's not an issue. I really don't you'd have to think about this one for a bit, because when they came out with the Triumph, I automatically thought of me being the Brit of the Triumph motorcycle and the Triumph motor car.
Sure.
I thought of that, and of course, this being an automotive area now, I didn't know if that was a thought process with that. But there's so many things you can do. I think you want to do something with a name that would make them stand out, because you take a look at the women's soccer team for the United States versus the men's soccer team for the United States.
They're the dominant force.
I'd love to see those two teams play together.
Right.
And see who kicks whose ass.
The men would win, but that's another discussion for another time.
You think so?
Oh, I guarantee it.
Really?
I guarantee it. Absolutely. And there's a long story behind that. But
if they
to
do
me,
penalty kicks to finish the game.
different story. Different story. But so here was my other thought. The other thing here's what above all this, any of these names that have been submitted, with the exception of White Claws, I'd be fine with. Okay. We have some questionable characters on the text line. Any of these I'd be fine. Here's what I don't want. I don't want the Lady Triumph.
No.
The Triumph women, right? Chattanooga got a team too. And the Chattanooga has a USL League One team, the Chattanooga Red Wolves, and they're going with the Lady Red Wolves. And I'm like, why not just let them be the Red Wolves? Like, why do they have to be the Lady Red Wolves, right? Let them be the Red Wolves if you're going to do that. The only thing that I actively have had discussions with the Triumph that I'd be like, don't do this, would be go with the Lady Triumph, right? Because that you're instead of letting them play under a United banner, you're going, yeah, that's the women's team over there, right?
Well,
it almost sets up a bias before they even take to the field.
If you look at the England team, the Three Lions.
Yep.
They call them the Lady Lions.
Right.
Is there something wrong with that? No. I think it helps out and keeps that brand of the team.
Yep.
And but the Lady Triumph, I wouldn't see a problem with that if you want to keep with tradition.
That's my thing. And that's the argument we were having before we went to break. I don't, right? Like I am big on Americanizing soccer to make it grow. The only way you're going to get Americans into soccer is to have our version of soccer. If we copycat everything that's done in England and France and Spain and Portugal and the soccer powers, we're just trying to copycat what they're doing, and we will never beat them at their own game. Americanize the game at the local level, and it's a professional league, but for the Triumph, Americanize it as a local level so that people start getting into their local club. And then when they're in the local club, then the interest might start peaking for the higher levels all the way up to the international side.
I would have to disagree of changing the Americanization of it, because Canada doesn't do it with the United States with hockey. It doesn't, when it goes around the world, hockey's not changed. It's still the same game.
Sure.
Baseball worldwide doesn't change.
Now, I'm not saying change the game. The game is still 11 on 11.
Basketball.
I'm saying, basketball. Well, basketball technically did change. International rules in basketball are different. But
true.
I'm not saying
Right.
I'm not saying change the game. What I'm saying is, in America, they're not boots. They're cleats. In every other sport, they're cleats. We're going to call them boots. It's not a pitch. It's a field. Every other field, it's a field. It's not a side. It's a team. It's not a and I'm trying to think of more, but you get the vein that I'm running through here.
0-0 is the one that gets me.
See, and I'm okay with 0-0 because in math, 0 is the nil set. Like, it's nil. That is what it is. But honestly, if we want to do it, if we want to go that far and go 0-0, that's cool with me.
Well, you could take instead of being regionalized, you take a look at the U.S. as a whole. Soccer is pretty huge. Surprising.
Yes, it is.
So, would you have to Americanize it even more to get the smaller towns?
I think you do, right? Like, if you're, and I get in this, we had a caller, Keegan called in and goes, he would go take Greenville Triumph, add United to the end of that. So it'd be the Triumph United, right? And the premise is and he may have won me over with this argument because on its service level, you're uniting two teams, right? Like, you have the men's and the women's team playing under the same banner. So they're united, but you're also united in the fact that Greenville itself is it's a city of transplants. As much as the locals might hate it, it is. I think, what is it? Last we checked, like 50% of people from Greenville did not come from Greenville. They came from other places. They're not locals. So you are under one banner of this soccer team, uniting the locals of Greenville and those of us that have moved here and are transplants. But on top of that, they are the upstates team. You've also got Spartanburg, and you've got Anderson, and you've got Pickens, and these places where there are soccer fans who will come to Greenville. You're also uniting the upstate as a whole. So you got 3 different iterations of the word united: the two teams, the transplants and the locals in the city, and then all the little cities around Greenville come together behind one team. I think Greenville Triumph United and changing the name of both teams, but keeping everything about the premise of the Triumph in touch might be a good way to kind of have a nod to the tradition.
Yeah.
But also really play up the fact that this is a place made up of a lot of people from a lot of different places and backgrounds and walks of life, and they can all be united behind this one team. And it makes sense as opposed to Manchester United. You're not United. There's another team with the same name 5 miles from you. That's not United.
Manchester City.
So thanks for coming by, big dog.
And Manchester City also. I have a kit as well.
Uniform.
Jersey.
From
Iron Maiden. When
I saw it's pretty sick.
That's one of my favorites on there too. But yeah, it makes me want to have a few pints now that we started talking.
I'm off at 3:00, dude.
Well, we got bowling coming up on Thursday.
So what's that got to do with today? I'm off at 3:00.
He is.
I don't know if you know.
He is segueing because he's a professional.
Club, and I'm aware, and we're coming to that.
Thank you, Lonzo.
But if you want me to promote you over, let's go have a beer. I'm never going to do that. But I will tell you that everybody out there can come have a beer with us Thursday.
Yeah.
Stoneman's Bad Butler Club, Spare Time Entertainment, right off Congaree Road.
Yeah.
Right off the interstate. It's literally on the interstate for everybody who's got to travel. We start up at 8:00. 7 o'clock.
You're going to be late this week because you're going to be on the Airwaves.
I got Panthers game. That's right.
Yeah.
But Zoe will be there. Diesel will be there. You'll be there.
Yep.
I want people to come out despite that, but you'll be there.
Well, the folks over at Wings Etc. are pretty kick-ass.
They are. They're awesome. They're awesome.
You're going to go do your thing there. Then you're going to come over and Lonzo's going to show us his balls.
Just the one.
Just one.
Yeah, just the one. Yeah, just the one. He also bought shoes and a bag. He's not kidding.
I did see the shoes.
He's not kidding.
It was a deal. I mean, we asked if they had a deal where you can buy, and a lot of these places do that, and they had a deal where you can buy all three for cheap.
Package if you want.
You could, which would go along with, the terminology, yes. So it was a deal.
You go to classicrock1011.com and you can get yourself signed up for this weekend or this Thursday.
This Thursday. We'll be there.
And we do it for the next 7 weeks. It's going to be great. The first week was a blast.
It was.
And the food was great.
It was.
The food was a great time.
And the beer's cold.
And you can win free stuff.
On how good your form was in bowling. I was impressed.
You thought I was just talking smack, son.
I did.
You thought I was just running my mouth.
I didn't know you were.
Yeah, that turkey.
Holloman, that's an old bowler. I think if that's
that turkey at the end of the final game was.
It helped out a lot.
Yeah,
it helped out a lot.
Yeah.
It did. Thanks for coming by, big dog. We got to run a break because Lonzo's giving me the eyes now.
I've seen those eyes.
Stoneman from Classic Rock 101.1. Stoneman's Bad Bowler Club going to be on this Thursday. Come on by Spare Time Entertainment. Quick break. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Yeah!
He's playing it. It's only just begun.
It's the Carpenters, by the way.
It is the Carpenters. Thank you very much.
Come on, rock DJ. Don't you play this on your show daily? Love it.
Karen Carpenter, probably one of the most underrated musicians there ever was. She could play the drums, she could play the guitar, play the piano. I believe she
100%. Lady Prince.
Yeah.
I remember.
She should have ate something.
I remain in love with Janis Joplin and will forever, and no one will ever take that from me. I love Janis Joplin. Love Janis Joplin. Always have. Judge Away stream. Love Janis Joplin.
So you pick Janis Joplin over Karen Carpenter?
Yes. But I'm a rock and roll guy. I'm a hard rock and roll guy.
30.
Karen Carpenter?
No. Janis Joplin had kind of a dirty look.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was a dirty girl.
I have a type. What do you want?
Well, not saying a word.
Good call. I should not have. I blew it.
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. We're on the same page. So I'm just gonna write them and reschedule them. I think he was crapping on Janis Joplin.
What I said about the sandwich was if she would have ate, and I realized that she had a condition, she would still have been around for a long time, and we would have gotten more wonderful music from her. It was not cracking on her.
That wasn't technically cracking on Janis Joplin. Because I don't disagree with you there either.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped below 3%, and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big. You could lower your monthly payment and prepare yourself for a better financial future. But you've got
So you know what he came in here to do,
Call us
right?
today and
Promote his bowling.
create a Rocket or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Which is fine by me. If he's I mean, he's going to give me some work if he wants free promotion on my show.
Marcus by Goldman Sachs offers personal loans with no fees, ever. Banks offer coffee. So what's more important? A Marcus by Goldman Sachs loan with no fees that could help consolidate debt, or bank coffee that tastes like bank coffee. You can money. Visit Marcus.com to learn more about saving, borrowing, and investing from Marcus by Goldman Sachs.
Investing involves risk and investments may lose value. Brokerage and investment advisory services by Goldman Sachs and Company, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Lending and deposits products provided by Goldman Sachs. Bank.
Well, Diesel can't bowl this Thursday.
At Hannah's Organic Honey, this may be sweet, but they needed e-commerce indeed to lead the hive. Indeed can help them hire first people fast. Indeed,
That song's going to be stuck in my head for the better part of 3 hours.
Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV.
And I'm that voice from movies you watch on demand. DirecTV Stream brought us together to save the world.
Maybe not save the world, but DirecTV Stream does bring your live and on-demand favorites together.
Your favorites together.
I just said that.
She just said that.
Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live.
See if this gets me in trouble. I just responded to the email that we just got.
The original Peloton bike offers more motivation.
Great job, team!
70% of members say they work out more now with Peloton than before. Get game-changing cardio at a new game-changing price. The original Peloton bike is now $400 less. Learn more at onepeloton.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Time for an oil change? We've got what you need to check it off your list. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or synthetic high mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $36.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with a free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery. Start your job today. AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply. It's the Home and Auto Bundle Extrema Festus Labor Month.
So it's good to know that you are coming Thursday.
All right, super quick segment here. We got to jump out. We're way off the clock. Texas says United historically was used when 2 different clubs combined, not one ownership owning 2 clubs. Yeah, you're right. That's absolutely right. And again, I think the United would be more of a concept than the traditional usage here. I'm okay with Greenville Triumph United as long as the Triumph sticks around, I think. Texter says the Greenville Smoke, which I can see some cool reasons there. What else? We've got the Conquest, the Elite, the Smoke, the Revolution, the Cougars, the White Claws, the Reign,
So
the
someone,
Liberty,
someone
the
actually
Force.
went White Claws.
Somebody actually went White Claws, and the Rob Brown Football Club, RBFC. I don't think I'm going to sell them on that one, though. I like the concept.
Also, Mike on the stream says Greenville Inferno.
Inferno's not bad. I got to tell you, if we have to go somewhere different, right? If it can't be, my vote's Triumph. If you want to add United on the end to give it a more traditional feel, cool. My vote personally, Alonzo, is Triumph. But if we're gonna pick, if it's got to be something different than the men's side, I'm really drawn to Liberty. I really like the Liberty. Obviously, like it's got the patriotic feel and theme to it, and then obviously it ties to the distinguishing landmark of downtown Greenville, the Liberty Bridge. If it's got to be different, I would probably be comfortable with Liberty. But I really want it to be the Greenville Triumph and let them play two teams under one banner.
All right, I get all that. And I just realized that the Inferno thing was kind of probably an inside joke because someone on the airwaves can't say the word. But I'm not going to say who it is.
Listen,
I'm not going to say who it is.
Inferno.
Again, I said someone.
Oh.
And
I couldn't say F's last
and
week.
I can't say who, but someone can't say it.
Inferno. Last week I couldn't have said it. I was struggling. Anyway.
It's not all about you, Rob. I realize it, yeah, but anyway.
I mean, it is my name on the show. All right, text in your thoughts. Which one of those get your vote or submit another name? Conquest, Smoke, Elite Revolution, Cougars, White Claws, Reign, Liberty, or Force. And then there's about 9 names you guys have suggested that you know good and damn well I can't and won't read on the air. Thanks for nothing. Quick break. Back to wrap up hour number 2 after this on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Prisma.
Prisma Health, the official healthcare provider of the Tigers and the game. And we're back.
What do you think about GW's suggestion on the stream?
GW? The care. Oh, all they do is complain to the referee for the whole match.
They're all carrying rule books and talking about procedures. What? Undertaker is out to stop the New Day from taking his prized possession in the first new trailer for Netflix's Escape the Undertaker interactive movie.
What's the survival dude's name?
Bear Grylls?
That one. He has a thing on Netflix now that is effectively a video choose your own adventure, right?
It's kind of like the Black Mirror thing.
Yes,
with,
yes, it's exactly what it is.
Okay.
We played it up in Charleston a couple weeks ago with Courtney's family. It's actually kind of cool. Like, it's very rudimentary right now, right? Like, you have 2 options and it's very clear which one to go with and blah, blah, blah. And when you pick the wrong one, there's not like consequences to it. He's just like, oh, well, that didn't work. Let's go back and try again. But I could see it in a handful of years. I could see them effectively filming 1,000 different scenes for you to play your way through a movie. It's kind of cool.
There's a 2-minute trailer for this. about the possible guests.
Okay.
And we can work something out
Okay.
with.
I wonder. Do you think maybe we could get them on the phone before the end of this week?
Maybe. I mean,
let's call them after the show.
Yeah. That's what I was just going
Yeah.
to suggest, that you and I will just
Yeah,
put
let's
them on
call 'em after the show.
speakerphone and call
Yeah.
them.
Stathakis.
How great is it when you get to choose your favorite movie to watch? Well, ZipRecruiter's Invite to Apply lets you pick your favorites from the best candidates. ZipRecruiter sends you qualified candidates, and you can easily invite your top choices to apply for your job.
Yeah, it's only Tuesday. So, I mean, maybe we got a shot at getting one or both or either for Friday or earlier or Thursday, which would be awesome.
Try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Kellerman.
Are you finally ready to sell that motorcycle or ATV?
And it's not too early because we got them Friday. It would be like a week and 3 days,
Yeah.
a week and 2 days from.
I mean, if we like, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, well, I'm getting the one dude this Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
Yeah, if we can get the big one in this week, even on the phone, great.
I would like to, if we could, get them on StreamYard.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to be able to look at them and talk to them.
That would be beyond awesome.
Yeah. Texter says, ha ha ha, the Greenville alarm.
How would you spell that on the uniform?
Apparently, according to the texter, ALORM, because apparently that's how I say alarm. Alarm.
It kind of is. And now you say it there. It's like you're
Alarm.
from Michigan,
Alarm.
which bothers me.
All right.
Well, Michigan's Canada South. So
Keep sending in your suggestions. I have got right now the Elite, the Revolution, the Conquest, the Smoke, the Cougars, the White Claws, the Reign, the Liberty, the Force, and of course, keep it under the Triumph banner. So far through the text line, and through our Twitter interaction, I have got 4 including my own, 4 votes for calling them the Greenville Triumph. I've got 3 votes for calling them the Liberty. I've got 3 votes for calling them the Reign, and I've got 2 votes for calling them the Smoke. 1 for Elite, Revolution, Conquest, White Claws, Cougars, and Force. So playing under the Triumph banner is the leader right now. The Liberty and the Reign both have 1 fewer vote, and then the Smoke has 1 less than that.
So Rain,
IGN.
Okay.
REIGN. And there
So no
is-
chance of playing Blame It on the Rain every time they score up.
There is a team already in the NWSL that is playing under that title, the OL Reign, which are from, God, where are they from? I don't even remember where they're from. I'm a bad soccer fan. Anyway, REIGN, the Reign. But you're playing under the Triumph banner is the leader. Liberty is second. The Reign is Liberty and Liberty is second. Reign and Smoke are third and fourth. So that's where we're at right now. Keep submitting your votes. At the end of the day, whoever has the most, I am going to send it on over to the Triumph on behalf of their friends, the Rob Brown Show Nation. Hour 3 is next on the Rob Brown Show. It's ESPN Upstate.
It's got to be the Rain now. Want some Milli Vanilli playing?
Blame it on the rain that was falling.
Keegan is distraught that you have disregarded his submission.
Well, I put Keegan.
I'm going to go.
And away we go. Hour number 3, the third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is ESPN Upstate. We are not going to spend too much more time on it. I will just let you know that we want you guys to keep submitting your votes. At the end of the day, we are going to pass on what the Rob Brown Show universe has elected to submit as our name for the Greenville Triumphs USLW League team. Right now, playing under the Triumph banner is in the lead. Just behind them by a single vote, including Lonzo's, is the Greenville Reign, REIGN. The Greenville Liberty checks in 1 vote behind the Reign. And the Greenville Smoke checks in 1 vote behind that. We've also had votes for Elite, Revolution, Spirit, Unity, Glory, the White Claws, the Cougars, and the Rob Brown Football Club, which I'm partial to, but I didn't even vote for it. See, I'm humble.
Yeah, but what would the mascot be for the Rob?
Me, I'm at every game anyway. Why not?
Okay.
Just stand on the side. Me, but in a bigger version head of myself.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you want that?
Yeah, like a mascot version of me, but I'll be the mascot. All right. 844-GSP, ESPN, 844-477-3776 is the number. A lot of other things that we need to get to on the day. I got some sound for you lined up here. I'm going to start with, if you don't mind, Lonzo, clip number. Let me go to clip number 7, please. Clip number 7. Shane Beamer, head coach of your South Carolina Gamecocks. Lonzo, I have made my absolute disdain for coach speak. No, you know what I mean when I say coach speak, don't you? Like when you're like, coach, your offense couldn't really get the ball rolling this weekend. What happened? And the coach goes into coach speak. Well, we beat ourselves and, we couldn't get the play calls right. And our
taking it one
off.
day at a time.
Oh, yeah. Every cliche. On my old show, I used to have a cliche alarm. I used to have a cliche alarm where when we would play coach press conferences, whenever they'd hit a cliche, I'd actually hit an alarm that would go off. Shut up, Lonzo. So anyway, I hate coach speak. I hate when coaches fall into the same old cliches. Nick Saban is the king of it. You can't really fault the guy. But coaches don't like saying anything. And I get why, right? You don't want to show too much frustration or excitement. You don't want to go too much. So the easiest thing to do is just speak in coach speak and cliches. Lonzo, I want you to listen to this clip from Shane Beamer and tell me if it's as refreshing to you as it was to me to hear a coach just go, screw coach speak, I'm going to talk truth at you.
Shane, obviously they've got a really good defensive line over there. Just what were they doing to maybe make things physical on the offensive side and maybe being able to get a push?
Who was doing?
Georgia's defensive line. What were they doing to maybe make things difficult on the offense?
They've got 105-star football players on their defense. They have a defensive lineman that weighs 340 pounds and runs better than everybody on this call. They've got 5-star defensive backs. They're big and physical and fast. I mean, other than that, they're really freaking good. That's why they have the top defense in the country. They're hard to run the football on. So there wasn't some magical scheme they came out with tonight. They got 5-star recruits everywhere, and they play really physical. Damn.
I love it. I love it.
My favorite part is where he laughs at his own joke.
Oh, he knows it.
He's like, about the lineman running that fast. He's laughing at us because he knows he's offended some of those guys who think that they're athletes who are on the call. Like, I could.
Oh, it was great.
No, you probably can't.
It was great. Shane, how did their defense do that? Well, they got about 100 5-star players on the defense. And here's the thing. Here's why I love this. It's not just that he did it, right? It's not just that he did it. It's that he's right, Lonzo. It's that he's right. They have on their roster 19 5-star recruits. 9 of those are on defense. 2 of them are on the defensive line. He's right. He said they got a 340-pound defensive lineman that runs better than everybody on this call. There are former players on that call, and he's still right. I listened to that clip on Sunday. I saved that clip through yesterday's show to play on today's because I was going to be back with y'all, my peeps. Lonzo, I'm in Shane Beamer's corner, all right? I got criticisms. I'm not impressed with the fact that the penalties have not been cleaned up in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm not impressed that you got offensive tackles that are just whiffing on blocks because the scheme's not down. That's not good. But he's 3 games into a tenure, and by the way, did not get an off season because of the Rona. I'm going to give him time. But as a dude, as a guy, I'm on board with Shane Beamer. And this right here, this clip we just played. Shane, how did they do that? Well, they got about 100 5-star guys on defense. That's refreshing, Zoe, because he could have dropped into any number of coaching cliches there that are custom tailored for that answer. And he instead talked the way that we talk.
Yeah, yesterday when Carter was filling in, we were talking about this and how excited I am to see the effort that the South Carolina players put in, and they didn't give up, and they didn't, just go, that's Georgia over there, we're not going to win. And not just them, but Shane on the sidelines. He wasn't mad. He wasn't throwing stuff. He was fired up. He was excited. He was enjoying the game. I just so look forward to what this team is going to be going forward. And it's so good to see someone and hear someone like this being the coach of the team.
Yes. If you're a player, I had to tell you, Zoe, if I'm a player, I'm behind that, right? Because he basically got asked, hey, coach, Georgia came out and straight whooped you up and down the field. Why? And Shane, if he goes coach speak, goes, well, Georgia's a real good football team. We need to get a little bit better at our scheming. We need to get a little bit better at making sure we get the right blocks laid down, blah, 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 blah. You know what Shane said? Shane said, I don't know if y'all noticed, but Georgia's really damn good. Like really, really good. So the fact that they beat us should be, to everybody, completely unsurprising that they're that good. That was so refreshing.
Yeah, I'm also surprised that he hasn't went to the Spurrier playbook and went, that team up the road.
Hey, dadgum team right up there in Athens.
Couldn't even score a touchdown. No, I'm talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't even score a touchdown. We did that against that defense with all them 5-stars out there.
Yeah, I love it. That was so refreshing to hear Beamer say that. That clip went completely viral. Do me a favor, play it one more time. I love it that much. I try not to call for clips twice in a segment, but I love this from Shane Beamer.
Does it get old, though, if they start losing games that they shouldn't lose?
Yes, charisma wears out, right? Results are more important than charisma. But while you're building the results, this is great.
Shane, obviously they've got a really good defensive line over there. Just what were they doing to maybe make things physical on the offensive side and maybe being able to get a push?
Who was doing?
Georgia's a defensive line. What were they doing to maybe make things difficult on the offense?
They've got like 100 5-star football players on their defense. They have a defensive lineman that weighs 340 pounds and runs better than everybody on this call. They've got 5-star defensive backs. They're big and physical and fast. I mean, other than that, they're really freaking good. That's why they have the top defense in the country. They're hard to run the football on. So there wasn't some magical scheme they came out with tonight. They got 5-star recruits everywhere, and they play really physical. Damn.
That at the end is just cash money. Damn. Right? Like, it's so good. Because the thing is, so if you're a Gamecocks fan, you felt him. He was right. He was a Gamecock. Like, you want him to be the coach, and you want him to be an X's and O's guy. And when it's time to talk football, you want to know that your coach can pick up the notepad and have all his notes and the diagrams and the schemes and all that. But, I mean, come on. That is good as hell. At the end of that, we're laughing because Lonzo and I may have a special guest for you guys lined up later in the week.
I was wondering if you also associated. Yeah.
Lonzo and I may have a special guest for you lined up at the end of the week, ladies and gentlemen. We're working on it today after the show. Young man that goes by the name Ron Simmons. You may have heard of him, a.k.a. Farouk. Damn! And that was his catchphrase. But that, all right. As somebody who's not above a bit of colorful language here and there, I can tell you that word is a pretty powerful word because it can fit into any circumstance you want it to. And Shane, right there, you just felt that it was like humorous frustration. You ever been so frustrated with something that you just start laughing at it? Happens to me all the time.
That's because remember who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I laugh at everything. So
Happens
yeah.
to me all the time. I get frustrated AF at something. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so dumb. The frustrated video games, work, whatever, relationships. There's sometimes you're just so frustrated, you have to laugh. That's what Shane just did. It was so refreshing to see genuine emotion off of a coach, as opposed to just, Shane, what did George do? Well, they had really good blocking scheme, really good attack schemes in there. A lot of stunts and twists up at the front. They're a good team, very physical, and we just got to learn how to play up to the standards. Oh, you're done, coach. Okay. Nope, not Shane. I got 100 freaking 5-star recruits up there. What do you want? Oh, so good. Texter says, who needs a beacon of truth when you have the beamer of truth? Love it. Texter says, Beamer Boy sounds like a true Gamecock. This will attract players. Yeah, that's kind of coach that if you're, and I'm not saying it's true for everybody, there are going to be some players who want to play for a disciplinarian like Nick Saban, who want to play for a good old boy like Dabo. But if you're like me, and you're loosey-goosey and like to have a good time, those kind of quotes from Shane Beamer are going to draw your attention. Ain't no doubt about it. Texas says, I say again, the Gamecocks scored more than Clemson. Solid. All right, let's...
All right, I'm not sure if this is where I think it is, but smoke is being reported from the Caesar Superdome. Yes. Okay. So you've seen it. Okay.
Not that's illustrated.
I didn't know it was
football season or anything.
I didn't know it was now Caesar's Superdome.
Yeah,
so that the Caesars threw me off there. So yeah, smoke coming out of the roof of the Superdome. There's they don't know why.
It's because the Superdome's elected a new pope. Come on, man! That's a good joke.
There are people out there who laughed. I'm a tough audience.
Lonzo's just staring.
No. Right when you said that, I found actual live video, and I'm looking at the fire, and they're zooming in, and it just. And there are people up on the roof.
Yeah,
up there too.
There's a fire. It's not like a huge. It's not the Superdome's engulfed in flames. All right.
It looks like someone started a bonfire, but again, in scope, that's pretty big. If you look behind and see the person.
Yeah, it's a big fire. I'm not saying it's.
Would you walk on top of the Superdome?
Oh yeah.
You would?
Oh yeah.
Not me.
Oh yeah. I like adrenaline. Yeah, the Superdome's on fire.
Yeah, they're up there. No harness, no nothing. Just walk. Okay.
Yeah. Superdome is on fire. The roof of the fire. It's not a huge, gigantic fire, but keep in mind, the Saints had to play in Jacksonville in week 1 because of Hurricane Ida banging up New Orleans. On the road in week 2 at Carolina. They're on the road week 3 at New England. They were supposed to come back home.
I just got the Pope joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so slow sometimes.
That's a better joke than just no reaction at all. If I was a stand-up comic, I would have retired at that moment. And it's all right, that's all my time, folks. See you later.
I needed a visual for some reason. Someone posted it and I saw it and then I finally got it, But I mean, if you're a non-Catholic, maybe you don't get it. Maybe that's what it was.
Saints were on the road in Jacksonville, home game in Jacksonville week 1 because of Ida. On the road weeks 2 and 3. They were supposed to come back home for week 4 against the Giants. Obviously, that is now up in question. Very illustrative of the Saints game this past Sunday. Sad. Hey, grab me clip number 2, if you don't mind, Lonzo. Here's to all you wrestling haters out there. All right, all you wrestling haters. Real men don't watch wrestling, Rob. Yeah, we do. Who else? Sam Acho. Sam Acho of ESPN, who is a dude, former player, and I promise you, none of him would talk junk to his face like you do to mine. All right? Sam Acho debuted a segment on ESPN earlier today, talking NFL, Sam Acho's Macho Men, and he channeled Larry. Here's the audio.
Well, if you're going to come out like me, brother, it's got to be 3 guys that dominated on Sunday. And the number 1 is a guy by the name of Bobby Wagner. He's one of my brothers. He had 20 tackles. He had 16 solo tackles. He had a sack. He had a tackle for loss. 2 quarterback hits. He was one of the Achos, Macho Man. And that's why he's got these glasses and that bandana, because he's macho. Macho Man number 2. Once again, you got to be big. You got to be strong. You got to be fast. And this guy plays offense. His name is Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Derrick Henry ran for 235 yards, 3 total touchdowns. He's got a stiff arm that even brings me fear, brother. And he led his team to victory. If you want to be a macho man and wear the bandana and the glasses, you got to be the cream of the crop. And Derrick Henry's the creep. Oh, I have to have a macho man from this game. And this guy, he's never beaten the Chiefs, but he did it yesterday. And his name is Lamar, the star, Action Jackson. Can't forget the action. He ran for 207 yards. He threw it for 239 yards, had 3 total touchdowns. And he did a pirouette, call it a flip. Maybe a cartwheel. I don't know exactly what it is, but he gets the bandana and the glasses. He's the last Achos Macho Man.
Oh, yeah. Sam Acho channeling the Macho Man. Bringing the let me tell you. And then he kind of transitioned to a Hogan there on accident, right? Like, brother is Hogan. So he started Macho Man. But the point is, brother.
When he says Hogan, I mean, when he channels Hogan, it makes me think of a certain song, and I hope you're still considering that.
Well, maybe, brother. You're going to be the one. All right. So I just wanted on the record that the real man, that is a former NFL player, a college football standout right there that loves wrestling so much that he has created his own character on ESPN to talk about the NFL.
And was able to convince the powers that be. Maybe it didn't take any
That was a
convincing.
full 3-minute segment.
Yeah, it was.
That wasn't like a throwaway, okay, you got 30 seconds, go ahead. That was a full 3-minute on their NFL show.
By the way, with props.
Oh yeah, he had the Macho Man robe, the Macho Man bandana, the Macho Man glove. He was dressed for it.
And on the video, they placed the glasses on the guys that he picked. Yeah, it was a good
They showed a
segment.
picture with the Macho Man glasses and the bandana on. So, I'm just saying, keep your jokes coming. Oh yeah.
You're gonna lose your voice if you do that too many times.
We gotta take a quick break, but when we come back, we will show you why we are the cream of the crop. Yeah. That's next on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Yeah. It does not feel good. It does not. I had to make a change. Here, you can judge me once again as you wish, stream. I had to make a change because initially my next D&D character spoke with Macho Man's voice. But after going through like 4 minutes of it a couple of weeks ago, I decided to go ahead and change it to Hogan's voice because I can get through that for 3 hours a night.
Because when you do it, you want to be immersed and you want to, because you're playing a character and you want to be that character.
And if I can't be Macho Man for 3 hours, I'm not going to be. But we also came up with the idea that my character has kayfabe in the universe. So like in public, I have that, but in private, I'm very soft spoken. Brother, let me tell you something, brother. I cast whole person, brother.
Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. It's why the Score app is one of North America's most popular sports apps. With your ESPN Upstate Sports Center update, I'm Matt Pauley.
Go outside, hit the restroom.
Sure. He asks after he's already, halfway out the door, but
By texting 484848, you will receive recurring automated marketing messages from Freshly. Message and date rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at freshly.com/terms.
When life is hectic and you're rushing to get dinner together, do you
Prepare a perfectly grilled flat iron steak on a bed of mashed potatoes, green beans, and sauteed carrots with a
doubt it? But you could enjoy that meal with Freshly. Chef-crafted dinners delivered to you fresh. Freshly chefs cook nutritious meals from fresh whole food ingredients and deliver them right to your door. Since every meal is delivered fresh, simply remove from the fridge, heat for 3 minutes, and enjoy. There's no prep, no cooking, no cleaning, no stress. And now, get $40 off your first 2 weeks when you text HUNGRY to 484848. No matter how long or rushed your day is, whether you're working from home or wrangling the kids, you can still enjoy a delicious chef-crafted meal delivered fresh.
Wow, it is so amazing how many pictures and videos. It just shows modern technology, how many pictures and videos of the Superdome on fire are out there. Including someone who works at a building right next to it. I'm just talking about all the video of the Superdome.
Yeah.
This one lady is at one of the big buildings next to it, and she's got a picture from a corner office
Bigger than it looks. Fire.
of it, and she's like, this doesn't look good. Yeah, you can imagine.
So I just
if you're in a
read-
building and you're looking, and it's like,
Under the roof
Uh-huh.
is a thick layer of concrete. So they're saying it should only be the roof that burns. It should not come all the way through around the rim. Like
well,
not the whole
how
roof,
about
but-
just like put the fire out?
Well, again, how you gonna get up there?
I don't know.
It's not. The Superdome's big.
Helicopter and drop some water like they do in the movies. Going to fill a bottle now.
Didn't call glass. Oh my goodness! You know what today is? Do you remember? The 21st day of September.
Should I just go ahead and mark it off? Should I? Because it's on Twitter trending topics.
Leave
I mean,
it.
you know.
Leave it.
Yes, I know. You know how I know? Because it's the day after my birthday. And you know, they should have wrote that song about the 20th day of September. So you're cracking on the Carpenters earlier, and then you're throwing out
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire
were
reference.
Incredible, dude.
So were the Carpenters.
Incredible.
And no, if I had to choose one, I would choose Earth, Wind, and Fire over the Carpenters.
You would
But
be
still,
correct in doing
and if I recall, they had hits on the charts at the same time.
Right. It's different. It's
And then
entirely
you,
different
no, you accused Stoneman and I of talking about songs that your mom listened to. But then you bring up,
That was just a way to crack on two old guys in the room at the same time. That was a good way to take them down.
I don't even think he heard it.
I don't think he caught it either.
But I wouldn't be Colonel Grudge if I didn't, wait for an opportunity to bring it back up, which I just did. I didn't realize you had changed your name on Twitter because I just saw what you
Because
tweeted.
it's week one of our it's officially week one of our campaign this week. Friday's our first full session. We're streaming it. I'm really excited. Though we lost a player, one of our guys in our party, our healer said the week we start the game, he's like, I can't commit to being able to play as much as you guys want to play, so I'm out. So now we have a party with 2 barbarians, 2 tanks, and no healers.
That could be actually more interesting.
Problem.
Could be interesting.
Could be interesting. Could also be a massive problem.
Is one of the tanks a paladin? Any of the players a paladin? Then you
I'm
got
one of them.
Well, then you can get healing hands. It's not the same as
But
having a
it's
full
still
healer.
a touching heal spell, which is not great for me, who wants to run into the middle every day. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate, 844-GSP, ESPN, 844-477-3776. Rob, why did Rob sound like Brendan Fraser as the basketball player from Bedazzled a minute ago? First off, do you remember Bedazzled? Did you see Bedazzled?
I think so.
Elizabeth Hurley.
It's the devil.
Yes.
Thing. Yeah. That's a long time ago.
Elizabeth Hurley. Absolute smoke show in that
Who
movie.
is still very pretty from what I understand.
Still a looker.
Yeah.
She's on Instagram. You can look her up. She's still got it.
I'm too old for Instagram.
She's still got it. Rob, the history of Greenville is a textile town. Therefore, my submission is the Greenville Weavers, applicable to soccer, with the weaving and passing and all that. Still working on a tagline, something like now coming to add to the fabric of the upstate, the Greenville Weavers. I'll write it down. You weave together a solid justification there. One of the things that, and this is the ugly part of it. One of the things that you have to do when you're considering a name for the Triumph W League team is to consider the ramifications that people will have with inherent biases on it, which is why I told Stoneman earlier, I don't want it to be the Lady Triumph because there is an unfortunate and for some people unseen bias that makes the Lady Triumph sound like it's second tier. There's the Triumph and then there's the Lady Triumph. And that's what happened. That's what Chattanooga's done with the Lady Red Wolves. It for some people is going to make it come across as a second tier team, and it should not. We should be putting the focus on them to be a championship caliber team, just like we do the men, which is why I want them on the same banner.
I've got Dreamweaver stuck in my head now.
I believe, Lonzo, we can make it through the night.
I just want something associated with a song, so every time that there's a goal, they could play it.
Lamest goal celebration ever. Dreamweaver. So again, Triumph right now in the lead. They are one vote ahead of Reign, REIGN. That is one vote ahead of Liberty at this point. So Reign has surpassed Liberty for second. And the Smoke is in fourth right now. So there's your votes as they stand right now. I got a poll up right now. You know why I love this job, and you know why I love this community we're building with this show. Sincerely, and I'm not being like facetious. I'm being dead serious when I say this. You know why I love the community, the group that we're building here on the Rob Brown Show. I put up on my personal Twitter poll earlier. Which of the Greenville Triumphs at USL League One W League team be named? We'll pick our show winner and submit it to the Triumph for consideration in their decision making. So give us what you got. And the Triumph themselves retweeted that. They care about what we have to say. They care about our input on this. The Triumph are putting that onto their social media to help us help them pick a name. Lonzo, we're making money moves here, man.
That is so cool.
To the moon. All right, to the moon. Couple more things I wanted to get to on the show. Grab me clip number 5, if you don't mind here, Zoe. Peyton and Eli hit it back up on Monday Night Football last night, and it was good. I gotta hope you watched. Did you watch?
I did, and it wasn't.
It wasn't for you?
It wasn't what I expected more. And I mean, there were a lot of X's and O's. There were more breakdowns of plays than there were the comedy stuff that you let me hear the week before. And so I was expecting a little more than that. And maybe because Gronk was on there and Gronk was kind of weak, and maybe it brought the show down.
Oh, I thought Gronk was great.
Gronk was very weak.
Brett
Favre was good. Yeah, Gronk was. I almost turned it off during.
Are
Gronk
you just hating Gronk though?
No, it's just he's
a kid, man. He's a big kid. He's kind of an idiot.
That's the part,
and that's why I love him.
That's the part that was he wasn't getting it. The room had to dumb down in order for him to understand what was coming at him. Peyton and Eli were too smart for him, so they had to bring the room down for him to pay attention and understand what was going on.
Dude, I thought it was brilliant. I love that, right?
And from a production point, when they went to break, because
no, I agree with that. They gotta clean that up because they kept having to they'd be like, "Hey, thanks for joining us. We gotta break."
Yeah,
it was a little awkward. And then every now and then they'd be coming back from break, and you'd hear Peyton be like, "Hey, Eli, take it," or Eli say, "Hey, Peyton, this is you." For the other one to bring it back, right? They got to clean up the production, but it was the second time they've done this show with 2 non-broadcasters being the primary targets. See, I loved the Gronk part. Just like last week. And by the way, they brought McAfee on too. I'm going to play some McAfee sound in a minute.
Yeah,
too.
McAfee was awesome.
Yeah.
He went, boom. McAfee took over.
He did. But McAfee's got that personality.
He does. And I think him taking over showed you some of the deficiencies that are there with just Peyton and Eli.
See, here's what I love about it. It's not a show that is formulaic to the way that every other show like it has ever worked, right? When you watch NBA on TNT, and this is their answer to NBA on TNT right now. It's the closest they got. On NBA, even with the NBA on TNT, you got these guys with this Shaq and Chuck with these big
But you have
personalities.
Ernie.
But you got Ernie there as a moderator. See, if you really like structure, and Lonzo's a structure guy. He loves structure.
But I like chaos within structure. I don't mind you bouncing off the walls, but from a certain stand, I want it to sound like it's professional in some ways. And that's what bothers me.
That Peyton and Eli show reminds me of our show. It reminds me of our show. You told Carter last week, because Carter said Carter went out to a tease, came back, didn't get to it, apologized for it, and you're like, dude, that's just kind of how it happens on this show. Because it does, right? We're very flow of the moment. We're very go with the flow. If you send a text that I love, it's going to disrupt what I'm talking about, which is unprofessional. But I also feel it gives the show a certain character that nobody else has.
It does, but there's still, when it's time to go in and out of break and things like that.
I agree with you. The production value needs to be cleaned up.
And from that company, I expect a little bit more is what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
It's very public access, but not the cute part of public access. It's the part of, okay, they have no plan for this.
I am.
And you can't have a plan for spontaneity, but at the same time, you've got to know when you got to go and when you got to come back.
I agree with you on that. And that is one thing that they will have to work. And that's why, but I don't think they really prep the guest like when we do. And you'll hear me give cues to guests, right? When we had Corey on Offsides yesterday, Corey Diaz from the Greenville News, which I forgot, I meant to record that interview and play it back on our show. I'll play it tomorrow. When we had Corey on, we get to the end of the interview and we're hitting a break. I'll go, all right, Corey, I got 45 seconds for this answer. Hit me with it, right? We give cues. They don't do that. But that comes with time and production. I agree with you. The production value needs to be cleaned up, but the absolute chaos within the show is what I love about it. I love that Gronk just is Gronk. He's just Gronk. And they're not trying to be like, all right, Gronk, we want you to tell this story, but you got a minute and 45 to tell. They're just like, tell a story. We don't care what's happening in the game because your story is the entertainment. And it was.
I wanted more cracking on each other a little bit more. But I did like how they cracked on the fact that Brett Favre wasn't there and why he wasn't there because of dial up and he's out on the farm and all that stuff.
Cracking like clip 5 when Peyton decided to start popping off at the New England Patriots like this.
That second Super Bowl in Indianapolis, and they practiced at your facility all week. Were you a little nervous going back in your facility the next year that they didn't have like cameras in your quarterback room?
Every time I played against New England, I used to go and talk to my receivers like in the shower in the far corner. I'm like, don't talk about a play next to my locker because I know it's bugged. I know it's got a hot mic in there. We're in the shower. Very strange to see 7 guys hanging out back there in the shower, but take all precautions out there. Oh, little snap count there, E. I felt like the Packers were listening to Eli, you and I, our conversation on Friday about we got to come out and run the ball. I think our conversation was bugged, kind of like the Patriots used to do back in the day.
Love it. Just pot shots at the Patriots for cheating. That, I thought of Lonzo immediately. I'm like, Lonzo's in. Peyton got Lonzo in because he's just banging the drum against the Patriots Spygate a few years ago. And in that charismatic way that you're like, got him. I'm like, Lonzo's going to love this part.
By the way, that part was great. Gronk just messed the whole thing up for me. He was so bad. Everybody else was good. And one really bad guest, all I can think of is, okay, if someone's tuning in for the first time because they heard all the hype and it's during the Gronk segment, they're tuning right back out.
I was, as a matter of fact, so I was sitting on the couch. So the lady friend and I are going to Boston and New York this weekend, right? We're leaving on Saturday. We're flying up to Boston, 2 days in Boston, 2 days in Connecticut, 2 days in New York, another day in Boston, and then we come back. And so we're sitting on the couch last night watching this game, and kind of banging out the plans for the weekend. Like, all right, we're flying up here. We got to get this hotel. All right, well, now we need to rent a car for this day, and then we're going to do this, and then we got the game on Sunday night. We're going to Yankees Red Sox Sunday night, and then on Monday we're driving to Connecticut. We're going to go to Bristol. We're going to actually take a day. She's letting me pick this one, so we're going to see the ESPN upstate or the ESPN campus in Bristol. So I'm going to tour ESPN's facilities. Like, it's all this cool stuff, and then Gronk comes on. And I'm like, I got it on in the background, and we're typing out plans and everything. And then Gronk tells a story where it's like, yeah, the other day, one of my guys asked me, do you watch film? And he tells the story of the fact, he's like, I told him, I was like, yeah, I don't watch film. I just go out and run past people. And I'm like dying laughing at Gronk just being a kid, having the time of his life, talking to two Hall of Famers about a football game that nobody really, can we be real? Nobody really cared Packers Lions outside of Detroit and Green Bay. I think that's the other part of the show.
It was a better game than what people thought. But,
it was a great game.
But still, all I thought of was, because he's not smart enough to learn a playbook. Yeah, and because of his side.
Same thing with Ray Lewis. They didn't talk about the game with Ray Lewis. They told stories. They did the same thing with
It's okay with stories. It's okay with stories. You're missing the entire point. The entire point is that Gronk is not very smart. And I just go out there and do what I want. And then when they're open, it's so you see certain people are privileged because of their ability and things like that, and they don't have to be.
You didn't find him entertaining, not smart.
I have never found Gronk entertaining.
All right. Well, then that's just a subjective difference in opinion, because the guy kills me. He cracked because if Rob Brown was in NFL, that was the greatest thing you have ever said on air in your entire career.
I wouldn't go that far.
That is the greatest thing you have ever said in your career. I can't. Sorry. I have more audio from it to play. But Lonzo just hit a walk-off home run. I'm going to catch my breath, and then we're going to come back. One more quick segment, and then Twitter. 69. It's the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. That was the funniest thing you've ever said. Oh, God.
I wish I was trying to be funny.
That was the funniest thing you have ever said on the radio to me.
I didn't think it was that funny, but yay. I apologize to the stream for apparently breaking things over and over again. It's not intentional. And yes, Stephen, I might indeed have killed Rob because he hasn't returned yet. I may find him laying in the hallway in a pool of vomit. I don't know. Let's hope he didn't tinkle before he got to the restroom, Stephen. When you get older, I hear that sort of thing happens.
Restorative, regenerative therapies are available here, and the in-office consultation is free. Call QC Kinetics at 864-448-3772. Non-surgical joint pain relief, 864-448-3772. 864-448-3772. That's 448-3772.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know.
My eyes were watering.
How do your clients know that? Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first. So wait, you do it because you have to? No, we do it because our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility.
Stephen was concerned that you laughed so hard that you had to tinkle. And I was concerned that you may not have made it to the bathroom. So, I mean, you know.
Texter says, please make that a promo. I'm already writing it in my head.
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different from money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm Serena Williams. You watch me live on TV. So why am I in a British drama you watch on demand?
That's good, Thomas. What I do?
Sure. It's because DirecTV Stream brings the best of live TV and on demand together.
Oh, quite the Thomas.
Mr. Jeffries, you're making me blush. Introducing DirecTV Stream, the best of live TV and on demand with no annual contract. Get your TV together at directtv.com.
Requires high-speed internet and compatible device. Content varies by package location. Restrictions apply.
What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries starting at just $79.99. And they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Think you might have ED? Not sure? Well, we'd like to let you in on a little secret. ED is common. About 40% of men experience ED by age 40.
Have we found out if the Superdome is still on fire or not?
Firefighters are on scene working on it.
No longer seeing recent video.
Get access to doctors online who can prescribe you FDA-approved ED medication if appropriate. The same active ingredient as name brands, but 90% cheaper. Skip the waiting rooms and pharmacy lines. Get a free medical consultation and rise to the occasion or your money back. Go to forhims.com/joy to get your first visit free. No copay required. The only way to get this special offer is to go to forhims.com/joy. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
To the multiple texters, both on the ESPN Upstate text line and on my personal phone, who said, make that a promo. It's already being written in my head. I don't know how long Lonzo's going to let that one run. Probably one. Just one. But it was, I had tears coming out of my eyes. It's the funniest thing I've ever heard him say. I don't even want to play. I can't go anywhere from there. I had more clips from the show last night that I thought were hilarious, but I can't go anywhere else. Let me get instead. Let me go at clip number 1, if you don't mind. We gave you some Sam Acho earlier. I'm going to give you a little more here, but not Macho Man. This is just regular Sam Acho. This is not Acho Man. This is just regular Sam Acho. He and Pete Carroll both had something to say about the taunting penalties in the NFL for this weekend. 6 games. 6 games had a taunting penalty called. 5 of them had a direct impact on the momentum of the game. Here's what Sam Acho had to say about it.
Sam, talk me through something, because if you're competing against me in basketball and I am giving you the business, I'm going to let you know that I'm giving you the business. I'm going to make sure that you understand mentally where I feel like you are in this game. And yesterday, I'm sitting there watching the Chargers game, the Cowboys game, the Seahawks, the Titans. I'm seeing flag after flag. Like it was the most annoying thing I've ever seen. NFL taunting rule. I'm like, where do you stand on this whole thing? How do we fix it?
Yeah, that rule is bad. It's just a bad rule. And I get it, because I'm on the NFL Players Association. So I'm in some of these meetings. I get it. Early on in the season and in the preseason, you have these points of emphasis. And the NFL wanted a point of emphasis to be on taunting, no taunting. They don't want players looking down on their opponent and waving their hand, or even like the fingers we saw last year from Antoine Winfield when he made a game-saving tackle. Like, they don't want that. Even the Tyreek Hill does it as well. They don't want that. He made that tackle on Tyreek Hill. And so I get it, but as a defender, and even as a player who plays with passion, sometimes it's not meant in harm, if that makes any sense, right? And Key, you said it earlier, right? Defensive players, they come with bad intentions. And so when you have all this passion and energy, you don't, it's just a continuation of that passion. You make a nice tackle or a sack or whatever. It's not meant in harm. So for all it was so frustrating for me watching these games and seeing all these taunting calls. Now, I do think and know and believe that the taunting calls will dwindle down as the season continues, as the season progresses, because that's what happens. You make it a point of emphasis in the preseason. People understand they don't do it as much. You make a point of emphasis early in the season. But what happens is teams need to understand from here moving forward, and Key, you know this because we'll have the Saturday day meetings, and you'll say, hey, this is our referee crew, and hey, they call taunting a lot. Teams need to understand that these taunting penalties will hurt your team unless the NFL starts to make some changes.
So there's Sam Acho talking about the taunting penalties. Pete Carroll spoke up as well. Clip 3, if you don't mind, please, Lonzo. Pete Carroll came out and had something to say about these taunting penalties as well.
I really respect what they're trying to get done, and they would like the game to not have that in it. It's a hard transition. You saw how what it took for us to get a penalty there. I think we've opened up a bit of a can of worms, and so we have to find our way through it here as we go. I don't know how other teams are doing with it, but it hasn't worked well for us so far. But it's clear what the rule is, and so we just have to react the right way. It's the reaction of the player in the moment that we have to train, and so you got a lot of guys that have to deal with those explosive moments, and they've got to really turn their focus away from the opponent, which it's a good thought. It's hard to manage it.
I disagree with one thing Pete said there in the middle. He said, "Oh, it's clear with it's not. It's very subjective. It's very subjective, right?" There was one play, I'm trying to remember which one, maybe the Seahawks game, where there's a tackle and the linebacker is walking away and he kind of looks backwards over his shoulder, and they call a taunting play. I can't look back in the general direction without getting a flag.
Do you know what he said?
He didn't say anything. The camera was in his face. He didn't say anything. He literally looked back over his shoulder and then kept walking away, and they called a taunting call.
Maybe he's ventriloquist.
Reasonable speculation. I don't know, man. I feel like it's already getting carried away. It's already impacting games. It's very rare that you have players, fans, and listen, there are some fans who are okay with it. Lonzo, let me ask you a question, because we fought about this earlier. I'm actually going to save this because we're going to do a full segment on it tomorrow, but I'll get the initial thought here. Would you say you are in support of the rule, or would you say that you're just tolerating its existence?
I would say that I understand the rule, and if it's enforced equally, I get it. And you can go back and celebrate on the sideline. There are other ways to get around doing something that could hurt your team. When you find out whether you like the rule or not, this will hurt my team, well, then get your emotions in check and stop hurting your team.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Right? Like, we see that we have that conversation all the time. You know what the rules are, follow them. If you don't like them, lobby for change of the rules, but you have to do it within the system in a sports setting. But this rule sucks. It's just a bad rule. I'm agreeing with you. I would be telling my guys, don't even look. When you make a tackle, look directly at your coach and don't break eye contact until the next huddle. That's what I got to do to stop 15-yarders. Do that.
Go to the sidelines or go to the huddle, high five your guys on the sideline or in the huddle. That's probably not going to be penalized. But if you just sack the quarterback and you stand over him and you're staring at him, it's taunting. It is.
I'm not saying it's not.
And admittedly, I did it, and it's something that it doesn't make it right.
I mean, it's a game that encourages violence, but now we're like, yeah, but don't.
By the way, I was in high school when I did it.
Yeah, everybody who played football did this at some point. You had that one guy, I can tell you, JV, my 10th grade year, playing Niceville High School. I blocked 3 extra points in a game. And the guy that I was a defensive end, I blocked 3 extra points in the game. The guy I was just manhandling. the offensive tackle in this game. And after the last one, he started throwing cheap shots at me. So after the last few, I literally turned around and walked right up to him, picked the ball up, and handed it to him. You're damn right. Because sometimes you just got to let a dude know, I'm kicking your ass. You got to let him know.
But is
It's
it
just
worth it if it costs your team the game?
No, I agree with you. If it's costing 15 yards, I'm not going to do it. I'm just saying it's dumb that it's against the rules at all. Quick break. Twitter trending topics to wrap it up next on the Rob Brown Show. Rob Lonzo, it's ESPN Upstate. All right, we're going to have not even one Twitter, huh? That's all right. We had a good show today. Good show today.
Yeah, not like those other shows. This one was a good one.
I mean, even for us.
Check it off your list. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or synthetic high mileage motor oil.
It's almost like you were excited to be back
I
for 4 days and you're leaving
I
again.
like this time slot. Yeah, and then I'm off for a week.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply. 5G is here. With the big carriers, want you to sign up pricing long-term.
I'm really upset that we're not going to get to Twitter trending topics because I had like a full sheet of stuff, and that's no, because it won't be trending tomorrow.
Sure.
Including Michael Jackson's trending because people are saying that Drake is bigger right now than Michael Jackson at his peak. Also, even though it dwells in the political realm, it's just ridiculous. Missing white woman syndrome is trending right now.
Did you read that? That's
Yeah,
a real phenomenon.
yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's a real
Anyone who's missing, it's bad. I don't think it matters what color they are.
It's not like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but yeah.
It's also Bill Murray and Stephen King's birthday.
It's a what?
Bill Murray and Stephen King's birthday. Dude, I know I said it
I would love
quickly.
Bill Murray in a Stephen King movie. We don't have time for Twitter, but
Do you know what day it is, though?
do you remember
I do remember.
the 21st day of September? It is the 21st day of September, ladies and gentlemen. So happy Earth, Wind, and Fire Day. By the way, Earth, Wind, and Fire, as far as I'm concerned, may very well go down as one of the greatest musical groups of all time that never gets the credit they deserve. Everything they did was musically near perfection.
The vocals were amazing.
Incredible.
Yes, I agree.
Vocals were perfect. The sound was perfect. The construction was perfect. Earth, Wind, and Fire will never get enough credit. That's it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Ryan and Diesel up next on Offsides. The MRC makes his triumphant return. You have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Later, 69.